Christy Croft, you're asking a black person if colour was a major factor, and I've got English people are racist at the top there. It's a bit of a silly question. My beliefs are very clear in this prompt. Can you read? What is racism? Christy, I'm going to assume you're a white person, so you as a white person creating racism yourself as a people, I'm sure you can educate me on what racism is then. Go on. White people, why don't you come up and tell everybody about the racism that you created? Yeah, go on. White people shouting that everything is racist. You're playing the race card now. You are the creators of race and racism. Tell everybody about it. Go on. If you want to come to panel and say things, you can discuss it if you want, because you have to have some knowledge about these things. But you know, Christy, you're smart, right? Christy Croft, are you smart? Come to panel. Jason Arday was an incredibly intelligent black man, and he's not here anymore. I'm an incredibly intelligent black woman, and I'm still here. So come and have a conversation with me, Christy Croft. No, you want to cry, actually. What do you mean I want to cry? No, Christy Croft. You're a fucking racist loser, Christy Croft. And I bet you any money you're a man posing as a woman. You're a LARPer. You men do this all the time, by the way. It's fucking weird. English people, by the way, guys. English people do this. Please don't spam the comment section. It's not necessary for you to do that. I know sometimes that there is a TikTok algorithm. Hi, Mazzy. Okay, the numbers are going up a little bit, but very, very slowly. Very, very slowly. Do, 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 do. And like I said, I will see if this numbers go up, or we will switch to the other account, because normally it's usually about like 50 by now or something. Let's say, don't worry, Media Meech, they've been blocked and sent to TikTok help. And these people are actually going there as well. Yeah, they're going there. That's why they're even more meaner than they have been only in the last sort of 5 years or so. They're going back to their nature, their Neanderthal nature, because they know it's over for them. And they're trying to take as many black people as they can with them. And that's why we have to rally around each other and protect each other. And that's why I have this platform, because I expose them and they don't like to be seen. And that to me is always going to make me laugh for the rest of my life. Right, got someone who wants to come to panel. Let's see. Citizen Blue, you're here all the time asking dumb fucking questions. All of the time you're asking dumb questions. Serious question, who hurt ya? The prompt says fucking English, people. You're dumb. You're literally dumb. And you don't even realise that you're dumb. Who hurt ya? Dummy. Dummy. Okay, Mustafa, sorry. How are you today? 1111, you've got as your number at the end.
Morning, host. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. I made a comment in the chat, host, where this disease of how English are racist towards black people, you've got great examples of Jim, it's not John Davidson, but it's Jim Davidson, by the way. And also...
Hold on. What? I'm talking about John Davidson. If you're talking about Jim Davidson, that's a different person. This is clearly not Jim Davidson.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I thought that was Jim David. It looks like Jim Davidson as well. Okay,
it's just another old white man. Makes sense that you'd think they're the same person.
Yeah, you used to have Rigsby. You used to have Alf Garnett. You know, these are the quintessential English racists who can't stand black people endemically, do you see? Also, one thing very important, not many Christians who are you a Christian, by the way? Can I ask that?
No.
You're not. Did you know, host, that the history of the N word, which is the derogatory statement to make to black people, you can actually...
Goodbye. See you later. We're not having that discussion. It is totally irrelevant. I don't like your energy either. Bye. Do, 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 do. This is the conversation here. Jason Arday. It's about Jason Arday. It's about English people being racist. Don't think you can come here and try to talk about some other shit. It doesn't happen in my life. You can try and do it everywhere else because people aren't as smart. So yeah, you can go and do that elsewhere. So the reason why the prompt is as the prompt is today is English people are racist and they're hypocrites. You guys will remember back during the Baftas, John Davidson with tourettes. We have to understand him. He can shout, the N-word is racist. He can do that. He can do that because he's disabled. Oh, all right. So you're not going to hear anything about what black people have to say. Okay. And when it comes to someone else on the spectrum, Jason Arday, incredibly smart black man. He's got autism. He was non-verbal. But we don't care. He got what he deserved. Comment section showing exactly that English people are racist. Instead of them actually understanding this, they would rather say that I'm racist. Me. This is what white people do. This is what English people do. They are king and queen deflectors. Yeah, medium meat. White people are professional victims. Oh, yeah. They literally made the victim playbook. The thing is, black and brown people, black people, we've been actual victims. Like, actual victims. These people have been victims of nothing, and you see how they cry. It's an instant crash out. DJ, how are you today? It's been a little while since I've seen you.
How are you?
I'm lovely, thank you. I'm lovely. So yesterday I was talking a lot about Jason Arday, and to be honest, it was very emotional what was happening yesterday. There was a lot of I'm spiritual. I don't know if you know this, but it's where I live. It is a Muslim country, and it is sunny from like March or July, depending, until the end of the year. There is no rain. Yesterday it rained, and I was
Oh,
wearing black. Like, if you know anything about me, I don't know how often you've been to my life, but I'm always
I've
wearing
never
colours.
seen you wear
Oh,
black.
yeah, exactly. But I was wearing black. I had black lipstick on as well. I was like dark, dark. My whole outfit was black. And I even read his resignation statement, which I'd never actually read
You never
myself.
read it.
And
Hmm.
no, I'd never read it until yesterday. But when I actually just Googled it, got it up because I was going to read it out to the people, I scrolled it really quickly just to see how long it was. My eyes
Hmm.
immediately stopped at the part where he said he needed time to heal and that he will
Yeah.
return. He will return. I was like, Jesus. And again, I've got goosebumps reading that part. So it
You know what was
is,
annoying? The fact that the press still hounded his family, even knowing that they asked for time. And
yeah.
what's worse is stations like GMTV and Talk TV. There's a particular news presenter called Julia Hartley
Hartley
Brewer.
Brew. Yeah, I've got
Did
that
you
up
watch
right
it?
now.
That
No,
I've
I've
actually
seen.
I was horrified. I had to actually mark out all of the minutes where she just not only is she overtly disrespectful to somebody who's died, she goes out of her way to be derogatory.
Yeah,
She goes out of her way to dehumanize him, telling people, why are you donating to his
yeah,
GoFundMe or
his
whatever? Why?
family.
Why are you don't they've already got money from the book advance. They already got 1.4 million. So what if you got 40 million? What's your business? Why are you so hurt by that? It shows that she feels that black people are not he as a black man is not entitled to that money. That
Yep.
is, and then she goes on to say, donate your money. It should go to a better cause,
Better
i.e., a
cause.
donkey sanctuary. I actually had to. Somebody basically did a TikTok about what she had said. I thought she couldn't have said that. My God, she did. She said every word of it, and she said it with vitriol.
Yeah.
She actually said this with vitriol, and I'm sitting down saying, even if you're an executive of that particular channel, would you say that's in bad taste? Would you even if you didn't recognize it was racist, right? Wouldn't you acknowledge that it's in bad taste? So the
Yeah.
fact that they can't even see shows you that it's a very much systemic. thing, sadly. So to me, the attack on him was systemic, and I have to put my hands up. When I first heard about it, I said, okay, there has to be some level of accountability, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, yeah, having somebody as a poster child for your DEI tick box. So that's why, me, to be honest with you, I'm always a bit anxious when I get asked to speak or deliver lectures in different places,
Yeah,
because you want to
yeah,
know
yeah.
what the people's agenda is. Is it to have blackface up there so we can tick our box and then say that we are, we practice equality, and then go and apply for grants off the back of your work, off the back of your face, off the back of them holding you up as a poster
Yeah,
child,
that's
right?
what happens.
And that happens all the time.
All the
And when you
time.
talk, people might say, "Oh no, you're too harsh," or "Oh no, how else are we supposed to basically reflect that we're inclusive?" Don't be inclusive, just be fair. Don't be inclusive, just be flipping fair.
Exactly, exactly. We've never begged for opportunities. We apply and we accept whatever happens. What the problem is in the UK is because we are so behind in racial conversations, they finally woken up and realized that they are a racist country and that they need to do things to rectify that. And so they are the ones that created things like DEI, even though DEI was mainly to do with white women, because white women were also in the patriarchy and being harmed by men, being put in positions, and the wealth gap, the salary gap, etc. Blah blah blah. Okay, so as consciousness awakes and you start to understand that your country has lots of different people in it, then you're
Mm,
like, oh, okay, we need to understand people more. But the problem with that is the big majority of England is white working class. And I don't think people realize how many white working class people there are. The gap between the rich and the middle class is very wide right now. It never used to be, but it's incredibly wide. I remember back during the Brexit vote, I was looking at what counties were basically like above the poverty line. Most of them aren't. And this is the
I
problem.
know.
When you live in a city, you think everything is cool, everything is fine. But of course, as you know, in the cities, if you go a little bit outside the central, the houses are all run down. People can't afford the bills, and
It's.
you know, it's
I think a
poor.
lot
The
of black
UK
people,
is
though,
poor.
the fact is, those people who sit in that gap are now being told the lies that it's the migrants that have made you this way, whereas it's not.
Yeah.
It's definitely bad economic policy, failure to think forward by government after government after government, both Labour, both Tory, Conservative, not investing in the future, and also a level of entitlement. And I'm sorry, I have to
Yes.
say it. You sit down and wonder why migrants, refugees, people who come into work as students come in, and then their children and children thereafter actually have surpassed a lot of the people who sit in that gap
Yeah.
and their children. It's
Yeah.
because they appreciate what's in their hands and they aim to earn. They aim to
And it's
earn, whether they go to
cultural.
school and
It's
cultural.
it's
I was going to add the
cultural.
culture on top of it, but the culture comes on top. That's a slab on top of what is, let me say, underpinning them. Because what, even with culture, without the resources, there's not that much. They have the resources, and then they have the culture, and they go for it. But other people feel entitled. They
Yes.
feel,
Yeah.
I'm here, so I should get fed. I should get whatever is in front of me, and that's not the case. So this is why it's really, really, I'm on a mission to sort of really make people informed before the next election, because if you dare vote for reform, if you dare, you're going to end up possibly with
Yeah.
your request to actually vacate the country. They've already said that they're going to move everybody out of their council houses, whether if you're a foreign national and you've got social housing.
Yeah.
So
But
they've got so many other policies that are going to come and bite people right in their bottoms without them realizing that how really awful they are. But going back to what you said with regards to Jason Arde, I worry about two things. I worry about the fact that it's so systemic, but yet people like Talk TV that allow that rubbish to be broadcast on their channel cannot see the systemic level of their racism. And even if they can see it, they see it as entertainment, so they're pushing it out there and there's no accountability for it. Then I
yeah.
also worry for people who decide to be poster boys and girls for institutions like Cambridge. And I'll say that I
I know,
appreciate
but
that
he didn't
they
decide. Of course, he didn't decide. But he was like the first black or the youngest to
youngest,
be elected
yeah,
in 1,000 years. A
exactly.
thousand years.
So
So
it was something
that's
to be celebrated.
what's
But
going to happen.
when he had his problems, they should have. I think they saw a car crash in slow motion. They did not run in and help him as they ought
They
to have.
weren't going to. Reading now, as we can do, retrospectively about Cambridge as an institution, they've never supported black people. They never have. Like, look at that. We know now that there are so many other professors or lecturers that have
Yes,
plagiarized
that
so much
plagiarized,
stuff, and they've also been,
even
you know,
committed
been
sexual,
invested. Can I
harassment.
finish? Can I finish my point? Let me finish my point, please. So there's even so the other lecturers that have had several cases against from students of sexual harassment. There was one particularly year, so from 2 years ago, I read this article yesterday from the Varsity, that there were six cases, let me not say six students, but six cases, and five of them weren't even investigated and one was dismissed. They never punish these people. And as you lot have seen, I know a lot of you have seen the sticker going around at the moment. There is, what is it, nine professors, right? So, well, nine lecturers: William O'Reilly, Nicole Morrison, Rachel Reeves, Anna Laura Wainwright, Neri Oxman, John Hattie, Susanna Dickinson. White people.
The treatment.
Claudine Gay, forced to resign. Black woman. Jason Arday, forced to resign. Black man. So this institution, we are definitely seeing that it is protecting white people, but, and I don't want to get this wrong, but I did come across a video basically saying that Cambridge itself is a Zionist institution. They've been talking about how they've changed, I think it's certain courses to reflect that, because I honestly, I can't remember. I should actually go and look it up first before I speak more on it. But there was a woman who'd actually looked at, maybe it was a prospectus or something, and she was underlining it and making certain notes and things. And it is a Zionist institution. That's what it is. And, I think it's really interesting. And I mentioned this about the education system in the UK, that you have, of course, two main universities that are top universities. There's three, but we mainly talk about Oxford and Cambridge. But then people start to think that, yeah, English people are smart. They're the smartest people on the earth. Only 0.1% of the British public get to go to these institutions, by the way. And that, of course, includes British citizens who, of course, look like me and you, DJ. So this is not somewhere where everybody has access to. And now you see the racism and the discrimination inside that institute. I don't know why any black or brown person would want to go to Cambridge after this. I
This is the
don't know
thing.
why.
It's that I think what do they say? Colonial mindset to want to be associated with academia. I
Yeah.
think the kudos that it kind of gives you, whereas that shows a level of low self-esteem to some degree. Don't get me wrong. Also,
I'm not
when
sure
you want to
it's I'm
go
not
to
sure
these
it's
things, you
low
want to get.
self-esteem. I'm not sure. I mean, you've got to have surely high self-esteem to want to go to the highest university in the country and globally recognized.
That's true.
Yeah, I believe it is definitely. I didn't think that I would ever be able to go to Oxford and Cambridge. No, I knew my limitations. So, like, let me just go to a regular.
I
I
didn't
know
know
I'm smart,
mine.
but I'm not that. Yeah, I'm not that smart. But the funny thing is, my younger sister is incredibly smart. She could have probably gone to Oxford or Cambridge. She actually did do some sort of placement thing in Oxford. I can't remember what that was about, but that was actually quite cool that she got to do that. And this is around the time of Harry Potter when it first came out too. So that was like kind of,
Ah,
yeah, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, and the numbers actually have been changing a lot actually, DJ, where the admissions and acceptance has been favoured more to people of the global majority more than white people. If you see the trend from the last 10 years, there used to be more white admissions, but it's actually going down. And people try to say DEI. No, these are top institutions. Why the hell would they all of a sudden
exactly.
say, well, black and brown people? If black and brown people weren't smart enough, they'd bring the numbers down, and then they would bring the quality of the universities down. It doesn't work like that. English people and white people are just so desperate to see us as the dummies when they are the dummies.
The problem is, as I said, people who fill that gap are not even applying to go to university. Many of them are, and the birth rate in the UK is dropping. So what you have is the
Yeah.
global majority people, one, expanding in number, and two, increasing in applications to universities, to higher education. That's just a numbers game, and that's obvious. But again, when you have people that come in and say, "Oh no, it's because they've dumbed down the admission for people of the global majority," it's just ridiculous. And the fact that this all started by a racist professor, I mean, it blows my mind that that idiot was given so many platforms to sit down and spew nonsense.
Yeah.
He believes that black people are stupid. He believes, due to his critical race theory kind of ridiculousness, that unless for let me say privilege or advantages, black people wouldn't be in any progressive roles in the world. That's how stupid this idiot is.
Yeah.
And he was
He's
given a
incredibly
platform.
stupid.
Mainstream media gave this man microphone to chat poo poo.
Yeah, this is what they're doing. This is what we're doing. Millie Molly in the comment section says, "You're generalizing. Not everyone in UK is English, and not everyone cares about skin tone." Who said everyone in the UK is English? What a dumb comment. That's like the dumbest thing. You people say dumb shit. Not everyone in the UK is English. There's 4 countries, and there's people like me who are descendants of people of other ethnicities. What the fuck? This is why you're not going to Oxford and Cambridge.
People don't get
Millie
it when
Molly.
you talk. People don't get it when you talk. Some people may find you abrasive. Some people understand where you're coming from. Other people may, let me say, yeah, as I say, 6 looks like 9 upside down to other people. Other people may just not receive what you're saying in the manner you expect. That's expected. If she listens, she might understand a bit more.
Yeah, but these people, they literally can't. Right, thank you, DJ. I'm going to move on to Mazzy now. Thank you. Thank you,
Good
darling.
morning. Are you okay?
Mazzy, yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm getting there, to be honest with you. It is very emotional and it's very sad, but talking about what's going on and talking about him is like, it's healing, all that shit, right? Also, Mazzy, would you like to be one of my moderators as well?
Oh, yes, please. That'd be lovely.
Thank
I
you.
would have
Thank you for
muted
that.
quite a few comments.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah, we need a few more people. And I'm always building up to try and keep these spaces safe. You know that I'm always about that. So thank you so much for accepting. And then after the live, I'll add you on my other account as well. So yes,
Thank
what would you
you.
like to add, please?
Yeah, I were on Tizzy's live last night, and the more that I understand about Jason and what was going on, sorry, I'm getting emotional. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Like, the family asked for time, they weren't given time. He did say, like you said, he said he would return, but he was just being hounded and hounded and hounded. At university, I've made the wrong citations. I wasn't hounded. My tutor had said, this is what you've done, da da da. And did I learn? Not under pressure. It is so easy to do under pressure. You've got tight deadlines, and like Jason was a doctor, so he would have been under a lot more pressure than I would have been as a student. And there was one man that came up. I think he was called Vardy. Yeah, he was called Vardy. It's sort of like it's chipped into my brain. Going on about, well, was he properly checked before becoming a professor? What do you mean properly checked? The micro racism that was just running out of his mouth, which actually turned into full-blown racism. And Tiz actually dropped him.
Yeah, I mean, like, checked for what? Like, what does that even mean? Checked for what?
Exactly. Well, it's like I said, I got into trouble when I was 13, and I've had 2 professional careers, and I've had to sit in front of panels to explain the life that I was living at the time, which was very, very spiteful by my own parents and very lower class. And I got into trouble because I had to defend myself as a child growing up. I wasn't brought up. So that's what had happened. So that was up until being 50 when I had my life-changing walking accident, and I was 13. So yes, the stringent DBS checks, and they're so lengthy. And for somebody to come up that knows nothing and ask such a dumb question, I got so annoyed with him.
So
And
that's what they were asking for, DBS checks on him
well,
because
this
he's
is
working in education. Is that what he was alluding to, or what?
yeah, it's what he was alluding to. And there was many.
Oh my God. Please, like that's already annoyed me because we've just talked about the people that have had sexual allegations made against them in the
Yeah,
university already so far, and nothing like that has come up about Jason.
no,
Stupid things like he forgot to make a reference, and because he may not have run a few like miles in a day. Like this is fucking stupid. This is fucking stupid. So fucking stupid that English people are so jealous. They are so jealous. They need to get help. Like really, like I can't even. There is no end to their nonsense. Really and truly, no end to their nonsense. 2C, I can't even speak properly now. 2C, I don't have a job. I don't need a job. I'm retired. I retired at 38. You go out and get a job or go to your job. Stop asking people to get jobs. Like there are lots of people in lots of different situations. Stop making people go and work for the fucking capitalism. Nobody wants to do that. If you have to, then, we have to sometimes. But stop telling people they should go out and get a job. If you had to choose to work, most people would choose not to work. So dumb. And yes, Angela, yeah, the article was there to prove back in 2010 that he did run 30 marathons in 35 days. The problem is English people's limitations because they are not able to do the things that Black people are able to do. And that's why they always try to vilify and try to annihilate the competition because they think they're in competition with us. Instead of actually sharing this planet, they try to remove us from this planet because then they think it's a level playing field. It's nonsense. Mazzy, yes, what else would you like to add, please?
Yeah, I wanted to speak to him about his microaggressions that had turned into racism, and TJ dropped him so quickly. Sort of like I was proud of him for doing that, but I really wanted to get my teeth in. But that is
But
one
the
neck.
thing is, yeah, but this is the thing, Mazzy, it's all about energy protection and shouting at people doesn't really help. But what you can do, of course, still is just educate the people around the room. So that's what
Yeah,
I do. I drop that person, I mute them, whatever their offense is, or they get blocked. And I still continue to answer them, but they're not there because they don't want to hear it, right? So you can still do that.
yeah. Can I just address Kingy in the comments? I've listened to
Yeah.
Foxy enough. She's racist. King, I'd like to know how a BLK person can be racist to a YT person. It's impossible. The oppressor is not the oppressed, so stop playing victim.
It says as well, people on this panel. It doesn't actually say who exactly. Well, of course, I'm going to assume it is towards me and probably other Black people on the panel, which only so far is DJ from profile picture. So, yeah, I mean, again, coming and just playing the race card is a civilization of people who are at their end game. And all they have is the race card to play now. So
Yeah.
that's very silly. It
Do you
says
know what
that is
I'm hearing?
racist, though.
Sorry.
Black people can be. Kingy, again, you acting desperate that you are experiencing racism is so pathetic. Kingy, if you want to come up, even though it's not the conversation, and you want to explain racism to everybody, what it means, how it presents itself, all of the different types of racism, because there's actually 7 types of racism, Kingy. You are more than welcome to come up. And as I also say, is that white people created race and racism, so you should be an expert at speaking about this, Kingy. Come and show us how educated you are, because we're smart people here. Kingy, I'm even going to invite you up if I can find you on here. So, Kingy, the smartest person in the room with cars as his profile picture. If he owns the cars is another thing. But Kingy, why don't you come up? We're talking about Jason Arday, an actual professor at Cambridge University. Myself, I had a first-class degree in multimedia computing. I also had extra qualifications in psychology, film studies, theatre studies, cognitive behavioural therapy, things like that as well. So if you want to come and talk about being educated and knowing things, Kingy, you're more than welcome. This is the room for you. Yeah. Mazzy, yeah.
Yeah, and sort of like if we look at Jason and what was happening, there is racism at its finest. If that was a white man and the names that Foxy has spoken about, why weren't these people picked up? Why haven't the police been round to their house for bullying? Because if we look at the government, the racism starts right at the top, and that is the global governments, not just the UK governments. And what I'm hearing a lot of the time when I do try and speak to people about racism, oh, well, it's just tribalism. It's tribalism. This is a new one that they've invented. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, they always come up with like new phrases or new terms to. It's all it is always just to justify their own racism. Like they constantly coming up with new systems, new terms, new ideologies because racism is the default. And because anytime we see it fully and truthfully, they'll continue to do the gaslighting that we're very aware of. So, English people or people in general, you always expose yourself when you think that somebody not being on the planet anymore is an excuse. You're saying mean lung in the comment section. Did Jason lie though? In your logic, you always say, right, so let me give this example. I talked quite in depth about Henry Novak and Vikram Digwa when the case was coming out. I felt like at the time I was the only person who actually read the case because it was very clear that Henry Novak had antagonized Vikram Digwa. He got out his phone, he was following him, he was saying, come on, bad man, you're a bad man. He literally said that. And it's like, oh, okay, so he was bullying him. Why have they not said that? Why have they not said that Vikram was actually walking away from the guy, but he was antagonizing him? So Vikram actually ended up responding, of course, in the most terrible way. He shouldn't have done what he did. But, that's what Henry did. But then it was like, oh, does that mean he deserved it then? Like, who said that? White people, English people, you say the same thing now. You say, because Jason Arday lied, and I'm going to use quote unquote lie, because that's what you think, because he actually didn't. He didn't lie at all about anything. And then you're like, well, he deserved it now. Because you're racist. This is literally your logic. You are racist. You are racist people. You have a racist system. You don't realize that racism is not just hurling slurs at each other. It is your ideology. You are racist inside and out. And that's it. Yes. Mazzy, is there any more points you want to make? Otherwise, I'm going to move to the next person.
No, not at the moment. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mazzy. Thank you. Okay, we've got Peasant number 1 and 2. Peasant, how are you today?
Oh, hello. Forgot to unmute myself. Yeah, I'm good. I love listening to your lives. You relaxes me.
Thank you so much for saying that.
It's it is. It's truth relaxes me. That's it. That's all. When people are talking and they're saying things that are true, it calms me down. So I just wanted to mention that Nathan Offnas before. I was just
if I just 1 minute, let me just do something because I've seen something really cool in the comment section. So hold on 1 minute. I've never done this before. Hold on. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. How do I do this? Hold on. I want to do something, but I need to try and figure out how I can do it. Is that it? No, that's not it. Can someone tell me, Mazzy, you probably know how to do this, right? How to turn off comments for a minute. How do you do that? Do you know? Does anyone know how to turn off?
No, sorry.
Does anyone know how to turn off? Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay. I'm going to turn off comments for a minute, guys. Did I just do it? Yes, comments are off. Yes, comments are off. Fantastic. We are, just before you go on to talk about Nathan Coughness, because that's negative energy, someone in the comment section did just say a moment of silence. And I think that would be a really good idea to have just a moment of silence for Jason Arday. For those of you who have negative energy and are racist, you're still going to be involved in this silence. So hilarious for you. But we're going to have a moment of silence now for Jason. So please send your positive wishes to his family. Send his soul positive energy. I know he's still around and he is going to return, because if you guys were here on the live yesterday, it was quite something. As a spiritual person, we experienced a lot of stuff. But yeah, we're just going to have a moment of silence for Professor Jason R. Day. Thank you, Jason, for your legacy, your work. The fight you put up was incredibly brave. We saw the light in your eyes, and I'm very sorry that they took it from you. I'm very sorry about that, Jason. Very sorry. Okay, Peasant, are you with me, my dear?
I am, yeah. There was an example that I wanted to bring up, and I think I can't remember if I've got his name right. Lawrence Tribe, who was a Harvard law professor, who verbatim stole 100 pages from a historian's book and didn't even get fined, dismissed. He kept his professorship, didn't hit the news. The only reason I know about it is because I went to university in America. I've got goose pimples. When you were doing the silence, then I got goose pimples. Yeah, he's still that. It's so sad. I'm going to go because I've got really upset. I'm just going to listen.
Bless you. That's okay. Yeah. You can mute if you want to mute. Mute, okay. And I can come back to you when you're ready. If you want to speak,
I feel ashamed. Is what I feel. I feel ashamed. It's shame. Yeah, I'm going to mute. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Peasant. Thank you. Yeah, you guys, if you want your tissues, I always go through my kitchen roll because I need it. But it's absolutely tragic, and yeah, it's so much double standards. We've seen pages of people who have plagiarized, as you've said, 12 pages, 200 pages. That's actually insane, because those of us who are educated, and I know there's no GCSE lot cannot relate to what I'm about to say at all. When you go to, thank you for the gift, thank you, Marcus, Marcus, yes. When you go to university, you of course have to cite everything, and there is plagiarism systems that your work gets run through, and you just have to reference. That's all you have to do. Writing 10,000 words is hard. If anyone has actually been and actually had to write a dissertation, it is hard to write this many words. You can't do it from your own brain, so you have to make reference points, and that also helps you build an argument. Okay, so even if I think about my dissertation that I did back at university, I think I did 12,000 words. I was like, I will never do that shit again. Don't ever let me go back into university. I will never do it again. And yeah, you have your supervisor. Yeah, so we had our head of year or head of faculty that would, talk to us about what we were doing. I actually did an interactive DVD. It was for... what was it for? It was a maths journey that I did for kids age 4 to something or other. I can't remember. So yeah, that's what I actually did back in the days of Macromedia. If anyone's familiar with Macromedia, before it became Adobe, that's what I was using. Macromedia Dreamweaver, and I can't remember the names of the other programs. Anyway, yeah. So going to university is hard, and the problem is that English people, in their lack of education, they have no idea about how hard it is. So that's easier for them to sit on their laptops and be on the internet to be like, oh yeah, he lied and he did this, because they're jealous. They will never even get to the position of being having university as an option. They will never get, excuse me, sorry, that's wind, that close. And that's why they have to vilify somebody, and they had to hound him until he was gone. Yesterday, I literally talked about how it was English people's responsibility, because it's so easy to go after Nathan Coffness and the press, but it was English people who were reading the articles. They were the ones that leave in the comments, tens of thousands of comments, by the way. They were the ones who were sharing it. They were the ones who were then, getting angry about him having an opportunity. And that's why my prompt again is English people are racist. Guys, we don't have enough tapping. Let's try and get to 10K, please. Actually, you know what? Let's push to 15K straight away. So please do tap the screen. There's more people coming through now, which is really good. We want to try and get more and more people to the conversation. We need to talk more. This is not going to rest. You guys know that I'm literally talking about Yves Sekila. I have been for quite some time since the situation happened with him, the fact that he was murdered in broad daylight and there's still no arrests for that. I'm keeping an eye on the updates. I'm keeping an eye on whatever happens in terms of him and seeking justice for him. And of course, the good thing is now is that there is going to be justice for Jason Arday because there's enough people outraged by this. And so we need people's compassion and empathy. And for those people who don't have compassion and empathy, trust me, the universe is coming for you and you will receive your karma directly. And I have been holding this platform for almost 2 years, and I am very much enjoying the English crash out. You have to understand this. This is joy for me. This is happiness for me to see you fucking racists, you dumb ass racists, receive your just desserts for all the crap that you've done to humanity. And the thing is, you've done it to yourselves too. You've done it to everybody else and yourselves because you're hateful people. And so I'm very much enjoying the fact that you are suffering. I talk about the hypocrisy. During the Baftas, John Davidson, he had tourettes. He's on the spectrum as a disabled man. English people, you were shouting at us, screaming at us that we must understand that he's got tourettes. We are disability advocates. Like, no, you're not. You're lying. You've never been disability advocates. You're just shouting at us because you loved hearing the N-word said. And now we've got Jason Arday, who's got autism. He was non-verbal until 11. And all of a sudden it was, oh, he's got what he deserved. You're racist, people. Thank you for the gift. Thank you. That's it. We're almost at 10K. Let's push to 15K, please. If you haven't joined the community yet, you see there's the orange heart next to my name. Please click that. And once you click, you'll see that it says you can join the community for $1. Please join, because again, this means that we're pushing these conversations out to the algorithm. Because what did Jason Arday say? There was too much negativity and too much hate in the world. And he wanted to weave a needle and thread of love back into society. That's what he wanted. So I try and do that while holding these motherfuckers accountable. You guys know when you're here often, we're laughing, we're joking, and there's a lot of healing that's of course happened because we are subjects of colonization. And like I always say to English people as well, it's like, you guys don't even realize that you've also been victims to this too, but you enable it. Thank you, Yaffa. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Crafts Corner, the double standard is actually wild. They are such hypocrites about everything that they say and do. So whenever you want to pipe up, peasant, by the way, please do unmute and just say that you're here or pop in the comment section. And hopefully I should see if you want to.
I'm going to run because I've got to go teach rich people. I need their money.
Okay, good. That's it. Work capitalism to its advantage. Take that money from them. Thank you, peasant. Appreciate you.
Darling. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Lovely. Okay, we've got Rayade. Am I saying that right? Or Rayade? Next on the panel. Hello. I'm asking you to unmute. Yes. How am I pronouncing that, please?
It's Rayade. That's
Rayade, sorry.
Yeah,
Rayade. Yes. What would you like to add, please, Rayade?
Okay. The first thing that I wanted to underline is that within the same United Kingdom, there's a lot. I've seen a lot of black people that call themselves British and non-British that actually reside within United Kingdom that are actually justifying not the loss of life of Jason Aldi. They actually justifying that in terms of plagiarism. Then the situation was actually true.
There's not that
But
many. Let's be real here. There's actually not that many. It's actually
okay,
quite the minority. What
okay,
these algorithms do, of course, is push the most negative things about ourselves to make us think it's true. The majority of people are not thinking like that because, as I mentioned, with the John Davidson situation, is that black people came out horrified and disgusted about what happened. Okay, so
that is not that is not what that's
let's
not
be
what
real about
actually
this.
that is not where I'm actually going. I just want to say that that actually shocks me a little bit when I saw some black people coming and actually trying to justify it. And it's actually shocked me a little bit. And the reason why I say that is that in Spain, there's two political figures in Spain actually running the government lied about having a licenciatura. It's called a master degree in the UK. Here in Spain, it's called licenciatura. This is two prominent political figures running the government and lied. Guess what? Nothing happened to them. Nobody was broadcasting, nobody was saying it, and people could
Yeah.
talk about it openly, but nobody was. And I was like, the reason why I'm saying all these things that I have a little bit, I'm not going to say privilege. I was fortunate to be able to live in the UK, go to Kingston University, study up to a master's degree at Kingston University, and also have the privilege to be raised in Spain. So most of the time I'm comparing the two countries when it comes to racism and how black people is being bamboozled every time.
Yeah.
Now, in the United Kingdom, when I was at Kingston University, I I I tried to talk to some black British that were born there. I wasn't born there. I came there to study, but I always have external perspective as to why black community, especially black British, are not scary to the white people. The reason why I say this is that look at Jason Addy. If the vast majority of British or English people knows that this community are very powerful, you cannot go after their prominent people. They will back down. When this happened, when I first saw it, I said, well, plagiarism is something that happened in university. I've seen a lot of people. Yeah, people make mistakes. People don't reference their work, and it might end up being capped as a little bit of plagiarism percentage, even up to that high level. If you're going to write a dissertation of 15,000 word, 16,000 word, 10,000 word, that's a lot of work. Now it
Yeah.
could happen because Jason Addy is not a robot; it's a human being, and that could happen. Now, when this happened, when I saw the news, I said the first thing that came to the mind, I said, this is what I was talking about. If this individual is from another kind of group of people that is so powerful in the United Kingdom, nobody will go after him. They will not do it because they know what could happen to, including Cambridge University. I was there because my ex used to work for AstraZeneca. Just beside, I was in Cambridge. I know what is going on there. But what I'm trying to say here is that anytime a black people is talking, I always trying to emphasize on one thing. We need strong community. These people need to be scared of us. That okay, if they go after our prominent people, we are not going to take it lightly with them. But how many black people in United Kingdom, right now that I'm talking to you, how many black person is actually furiated in their workplace, in every academic institution, East London University, Kingston, whatever you want to call it, that everybody's furiated. No, few people. People are angry, but that is not even making an impact within London to make that okay. They cannot go after black prominent people, and this is what they just did because the gentleman, what happened to him, is gone. How long? How long do we actually think that we're going to be able to replace somebody in our own community up to that high level? It's going to take time. This is the
It's going
thing
to take
that a
time.
lot of this is the
Yeah.
thing that a lot of black people don't realize. I always tell people, I say, black community need to be strong. They need to be scared of us at least a little bit. That if they
Yeah.
go against our prominent people, we're not going to take it lightly with them. That is
Yeah,
my point of view.
I agree with that 100%. So I was watching the vigil through people who were streaming it yesterday, and I was annoyed because I'm angry. And living in the UK, they make you so sort of suppressed in your emotions. Even yesterday, I had people saying, "Oh, I'm angry." I'm like, "You need to let that shit out." And then people were eventually being angry or they were crying, and this is the problem. So when I was seeing people up on those stages talking about, "Oh, there's love here, there's 30,000 people," I'm like, "You people are not angry enough. You're not angry enough." Like, we literally see this happen all the time. And they took this beautiful man, right, who didn't hurt anybody. You've got paedophiles and murderers that literally do all kinds of disgusting, horrific things in the UK, right? White English people, like that person just then who interrupted, who clearly is of that same class, right? And they vilify him instead because they don't want to reflect upon their own evil. This is England. This is exactly what these people are and what they do. They see the light in others and they want to extinguish it because they don't have it themselves. I will always say that English people or white people don't hate us. They hate themselves. They hate everything that they cannot be, which we reflect. It is not about us. It is about them and the things that they are just not able to become because of their history of oppression that they've had themselves, because of them being so submissive to their 1%. And then, of course, pushing racism in ways that they don't even know that they're doing. They're still saying that, I'm not racist because I haven't said a slur word, while still acting racist, and then saying that everybody else is racist. They don't have any idea about their own behavior and the things that they do and say. They have no idea.
Sorry, because I have to go. I have to quickly go. I have to close with this very quickly. In Spain, Malaga. I'm in Spain at the moment. I'll still be coming back to London. In Spain, Malaga city, there's up to 220,000 British people living here, mostly white, living in this city, right? I just want to give the data out to a lot of black British that in the UK that is actually talking about English people. English people are here in Malaga, and close to 220,000 of them live here. In the UK, I've heard a lot of barbaric statement from white British people towards black people in United Kingdom, saying that they're lazy, they staying in Here, out of 220,000 British people that live here, if I tell you that more than half of them stay in Spain and they don't contribute nothing to the government. And they are doing as they see fit in the town. If you come to Marbella, you come everywhere. Go to Fuengirola, you will see British people all over the place. They were just doing the way they want. I'm only want to say this, which is it might be a little bit out of context what we're talking about. I want British people to know, black British people to know, everything that British people are complaining about in United Kingdom, in London today, or in Birmingham, or Liverpool, or in Manchester, everything that they're complaining about immigrants in their own country, that's exactly the same thing they're doing here. They're not paying taxes. They're only driving car up and down. They only go and sit down at the coffee shop, drinking coffee, come here to retire, doing absolutely fuck all. This is what they're doing here. I just want to throw that out for a lot of people to know the data. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't even know in general there are 1 million illegal British immigrants living in Spain. So the whole thing is hilarious. I've moved to a Muslim country myself. There are some English people here, and thankfully I don't spend a lot of time with them. But when I do, of course, the ignorance always jumps out. It always does. And I even have this silly neighbour here that's decided to put up a giant England flag on a pole on his house. Nobody even has a flag here, by the way, of their own country. Like, it's quite, when we have certain holidays, the country itself will put up stuff, like they'll put up stuff in the village that I live here, and it will just be because it's a holiday. This Englishman has put a giant England flag on his house, and it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. And of course, I know he is racist because I've had conversations with him before. He would talk about the blacks and he would say the P word slur, and I would listen to him talking. And then the one day I said, well, actually, British people are blah blah blah. The way he got mad, he said, "We're gonna fall out. We're gonna fall out." I've told this story before. If you guys know the story, we're gonna fall out. And I was like, I'm still gonna talk. And then he literally walked past my house one day and I said, "You've stopped talking to me. Come here." He came to me. He was shaking like a leaf because he knew I was going to talk to him directly. He even then went on to say, when the Eastern Europeans, and you guys know this, the Eastern Europeans, who the English also hated because they hate everybody, when they came here, the white people took our jobs. This is a white man saying that a white man, Polish people took the jobs. The white people took our jobs. I went, "You're both white. What?" That's what he said. He had no idea how to talk about race, what racism is and what it looks like. And yeah, he's a very problematic person, this guy. There's other things I can say about him, but yeah, this is culture. But thank you so much in the comment section for saying rest in peace, Jason Arday. Again, I'm talking about the hypocrisy of English people, the things that they do, the things that they expect everybody else to do. And those things are two different things. Do as I say, not as I do. During the Baftas, they were telling everybody to be so sympathetic towards John Davidson because he's got tourettes, because he said the N-word, it was unintentional. They all went to Google what disabilities are, and they were all experts on coprolalia. They were like, yeah, we know everything about it. And they were saying, black people, you need to educate yourself on what that is. It was like, we're reading it at the same time as you, and you do realise that we also have disabilities as well. We also have tourettes too. Of course they didn't get it. But now, when it comes to a guy who's also disabled, he's on the spectrum, he's got autism, he was non-verbal to 11, it's now he got what he deserved. He lied, he plagiarized, he didn't run marathons, all stupid shit that you tried to pick apart from this guy because you were not him. You were so jealous that a boy at that time who didn't speak to 11 managed to still leapfrog you. That's how it was. He leapfrogged you in 30 years, and you in the same amount of time still haven't got any GCSEs. Sally Space, please don't spam the comment section. It's not needed. Thank you. I'm just going to put you on a 30-second mute, okay? Because we don't need to spam the comment section. But we're all on the same page here. Well, I mean, some of us aren't, but well, not some of us, some of them aren't. But please don't spam. We're all here to pay respects to Jason Arday. So it's just a 30-second mute for you, and then please do come back and contribute to the conversation. Okay, so we've got Alex Dobin next, please. Alex, how are you? Alex on the panel, I've asked you to unmute. Are you there? Otherwise, we'll move to Lawrence. Okay, we'll come back to Alex. Okay, Lawrence, how are you? Lawrence, are you there? Are you eating? Sometimes you're like eating. Okay. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that compliment. You said, I need to run. Thank you for the difficult conversations. RIP, Jason Arday. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to go to Fabra, please, instead. How are you today?
Hello.
Hello there.
Good morning. Hope everybody's well.
Hi there. So what would you like to add to the conversation today?
Yeah, I don't mean to sound defeatist, but I'll say that it's a very difficult situation and conversation that you're having. I don't think there's an easy fix to this because this problem is so, what's the word I need to use? It's so entrenched and so deep that this unfortunate incident with this gentleman, it's going to reoccur again. We had George Floyd. We have so many instances, and obviously black people react, rightly so. It dies down. Everybody goes back to their 9 to 5 or whatever, and it carries on because the situation is something that it goes back generations, and it will take generations for us to overcome this. And we are also at a stage where we ourselves need to educate ourselves in terms of how the world sees us as a people.
They will never see it. We've always been the same way, though. That's the thing. And what needs to change is white people's attitude towards the rest of the world. We've done our bit. We're here to stay. Our energy is infinite. We're not going anywhere. It's white people that are behind in their understanding that. Thank you, Sally Space. Not a problem. Honestly, appreciate the apology. That's okay. Thank you, Sally Space. Yeah, the problem is that humans are supposed to evolve, right? And we're evolving. We're growing. We're educating ourselves. We're learning more. But certain white people hit their limit and they go back to their default of racism. So yes, thank you. Exactly, Mazzy. It is white people that need to change. That is literally it.
I think, I mean, I do agree with you, but I think we as black people also, I say that because we're not monolithic, you know, obviously we keep saying black people as a whole and we have different cultures, but in a whole, we are one people. So let me put it that way. But I think sometimes we as a people, I need to find the right words here, because I think we come from a place of, I would say godliness, and I wouldn't even say naive because I think,
Yeah.
you know, the world is a place of power, right?
Yeah.
And it sort of it shows itself in different aspects, and the whole thing is about power. What I mean by that is whether it's financial, religious, it's all about power, and this is what white people live and prey on because they fully understand how the world works and they use every tool
Yeah.
to sort of dominate and stay in a power. So I use the word naivety because we as black people, whether it's how we are made or whether we haven't caught up to understand certain things, we don't even have a mindset to understand it. We sort of blindly walking in, and I get it historically.
I don't
No,
know.
I'm
I
not.
don't know.
I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm not trying to
Yeah,
victim
but I
blame
am,
here. I'm not trying to
yeah,
victim
but
blame here.
I am also, yeah, but I also want to make sure that this, like you've said, and like you recognise, is that black people aren't a monolith. I really feel
Yes,
that
yes, 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 yes.
Black British people are very different in their mindset to Black Americans, for example, because Black
Yes.
Americans, they, for me, are the revolutionists. Like, I really believe there's black people, and like I said earlier, they're too submissive now because the energy in the UK is so low, and it is all about oppression in the UK still, right? And like I've said earlier in this live, I was annoyed watching Jason's vigil yesterday because there was no anger, there was no like fury to be like, we cannot stand this. This is just a terrible. Again, it was like, oh, we need to live with love, like this love shit. No, why are we trying to spread love? Like, love doesn't do anything. We need fury, we need fight, we
But
need to
this is
use our
what I'm
anger.
saying,
All
Miss.
of this, all of the stuff is that is in us. I'm going to finish my speech because I want to say this so people get it as well. It's like we are loving people. But let's us understand this. It was our love and acceptance that got us in the position where we were. We extended our hands out to these people who we thought were also like us. That was our mistake. We extended it out to colonizers who came to hurt us, harm us, kill us in our millions. These people have killed 500 million people worldwide. And you still want us to say that, oh, yeah, love, we can love, we can love. No, no, you literally need to fight fire with fire. This is why I have this platform. You see them crashing out. Even my words are enough to make these people be like, and you have idiots like Darren Geezy saying, you can leave. I don't live with you Neanderthals. I don't live in Europe. It's the same shit you say every single day. The guys who come here, you know that I'm always here with fire. I love the people who are on the side of the global majority. That's who I love. But I'm not extending my love out freely. Hell no. My love is for me first, and then for those other people who come into my space and actually understand it. But best believe I can remove that love immediately. Mine is more to do with the fire I have in my heart from my ancestors, because I know who my people are. I'm not into this negative stuff to do with black people. I'm not into this, oh, we need to do this. Oh, no. I'm not into that. I see the bigger picture. I understand where our power is, and I put energy into that, not into the other stuff. So that's where I'm at, Fabra.
I totally agree with your sentiment. I think we're saying the same thing, but obviously we're coming from different angles. Like I said, we live in a world of power, right? So let's understand the basic principle of the word power, and it comes from education, power, financial, and these white people have mastered Become like they colonized the world, and they did it by all sorts of means, whether religion, whether by brute force, rape and pillage. They're not godly people. I'm not saying to say that they're evil, but I'm saying these people have mastered the art of power, right? And I'm saying, well, we come in with these
It's yeah, also, like, let's not even say power. They didn't master anything to power. They were just the most brutal, the most evil, the most manipulative, the
domination,
most gaslighting. Yeah, they
yeah,
wanted to,
yeah, domination,
because
yeah.
they were because they were insecure, they had to then assert themselves and create hierarchies. And I always talk about how they did this within themselves
Exactly.
first. They introduced class system. That I even talk about men as well with this alpha, beta shit, gamma, sigma. They did that. This is white people stuff. They did it because they're insecure
Yes,
people,
yes.
and they
You're
Divide
an
and
dragged
conquer.
us.
insecure
They
one,
dra-
you
they
filthy
But
fucking niggers.
hold on, relax. I don't know
Thank
who's
you,
interfering.
Pekka. Thank
But
you, Pekka. You
what I
prove
would
our
say is,
point. Thank you.
what I would say is, yeah, just before I go, I know that a lot of people want to contribute. It's very tragic. I mean, for someone, I've never been in that situation, thank God, and I've come close to a lot of heartbreaking situations. I can understand how somebody could easily feel they've got no way out to do that. Like I said,
Yeah.
God forbid that any of us find ourselves in a situation where we think the easy option. I don't think
Yeah.
it's even an easy option. Let me even take that back. I think for
It's
you to even do
not.
that, you must be really brave. You must be really brave to really
It
do that.
is.
Believe you me.
It's yeah. It really, really is.
You
And
know,
we talk about mental health. I talk about mental health a lot.
it
I'm
can't be
always saying to
easy.
black people, yeah, I'm always saying to black people on here, especially, please get your mental health up. Like, please find the services. I always talk about NHS talking therapy because these people are relentless. The fact is, Jason's gone and they're still hounding him. And
Yes,
this is it.
yes.
Like, and we know that they really tried to do this with Meghan Markle. They
They're
really
still doing
tried to
it. They're
do
still
it.
doing it. They're
Oh
still
yeah,
doing it. They're still doing it.
they're
It's
still
not going to
doing it.
stop
She still
until,
left.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She's still doing
yeah.
it.
They,
They're
they
still doing
never
it.
exactly. But the good thing is
I,
that Harry's protecting her. She's very
oh,
covered, but she also has a lot of money around her, a lot of people around her. Jason, unfortunately, was just a professor at a university. Exactly, Layla. They
no,
lost
it was a
access to her,
scapegoat. It was a
and he was just
scapegoat.
there.
It
Yeah,
was a
because they didn't
scapegoat.
get
It was a
Megan.
scapegoat. Yes, it
Yeah.
was a scapegoat.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah, I just
I'm not
I
sure.
just want to just 1 minute, Fabra, and I'll come back to you, and then I'm gonna move to the next person. I'm just gonna highlight that Neanderthal who came up with his racist comments because you guys always know that I do this here. English people always prove my point. English people are racist. They come to my panel and they be racist. Stop thinking that these people are your friends. Stop thinking that these people can change. It is not about that. It is about black people and brown people understanding what has been happening to them and understanding that you need to fight against this. This is what you need to do. For those of you who are in relationships with white people, are you actually, saying, hey, guy, how much anti-racism are you working on? Are you studying? Are you learning history? Are you doing all that kind of stuff? Because I would never find myself in a relationship with a white person that hasn't done any of those things. No fucking way. I will never find myself a friend as a white person who's not doing these things either. And you guys know here, I only have like 2 white friends. That is literally it. 2 white friends. Even my friendship group generally is like 3 friends, and one of them is my dad. I think that's literally it. That's literally it. Because we can't keep giving people chances. We've already done that. It's 2026, man. This stuff has been going on for hundreds of years. It's real talk now. There is no other options. To stay asleep is to stay in a very vulnerable and dangerous position. And so if you are awake, know exactly where we're at. Okay, Fabra, I'm actually going to move to the next person now. So thank you for your comments. Appreciate that. Thank you. We've got Top/100. Top, how are you? Top, are you there? I've asked you to unmute.
Yeah. Greeted.
Yes. Greetings. Hi
Yeah,
there.
man.
How would you like to address the prompt or our discussion, please?
Yes. I'm glad for the first time meeting with you guys from over the UK. I live in Canada, but I'm having a situation here, and it's called inheritance fraud in the UK because I'm going through serious inheritance fraud. And the reason why I'm gonna link my situation to your situation according to your prompt is like what I'm going through. it have to deal with our black people. You know, the inheritance fraud that is happening in UK, we are sell out by our very own, because the people that are ripping off my inheritance are some white people. But the connection is through our very own black people. You know, I've been left with a huge amount from my aunt in England, yeah, but it's been taken away from me, and I'm going through a process now. You know, so we black people, we got to look what we are doing, and you know the connection that we are making. You know, we are selling out our very own. You
Yeah,
understand? For them to
that's
hurt
a
us.
yeah, that's a conversation that I really want to withhold to black conversations specifically. Today, I really want to focus on English people being racist or white people being racist, their institutions, because I can talk about colonization, because of course that is a colonized mindset that you're talking about. I talk a lot about, sellouts and people that don't realize that they're doing the work of narcissism. But today, I want to focus on Jason Arday. I want to focus on his legacy. I want to focus on the fact that, like I said, people need to actually understand what world we live in so that we can understand whiteness is in its entirety. And then following that, it is conversations about our own people who are still colonized. So hopefully that makes sense,
Yeah.
Top. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate you. But you know, yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you,
appreciate
Top. Thank you so much. But please do come back on another day. Like, really, come back tomorrow if you want. I might be on tomorrow, or on Saturday, as I mentioned, I have a black conversation. So we can talk about that in much greater depth. So thank you. Okay, we've got Reving Raj now, please. Reving, how are you?
Not too bad, sis. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. So what
I
would you
mean,
like to add about
I mean, I
this
was just
horrible
gonna say,
situation?
when I heard about what happened with our day, I mean, literally ripped my heart out because, as an Asian person myself, I fully believe this was a situation of systematic racism because,
Yeah,
and this is what I was just talking about with my family. They said there's been probably thousands and thousands and thousands of professors at Cambridge who've all
yeah,
been done for plagiarism. But why did they
yeah,
go after Ade? We all know why he went after Ade. It's because it's not because of, he did any worse. It's because of the melanin in his skin. It's the reason why whenever, you see the media, if ever there's, a whitey criminal, it gets one article and then brushed under the carpet. Like that chap William O'Reilly, who actually copied his work from a student. One article, thrown under the carpet. If he's black, if he's Asian, if he's Muslim, if he's ethnic in any sort, guess what? Demonize, demonize, demonize. And they
yeah,
hounded this poor man. They absolutely hounded him. Why do they hound him? Because I'll tell you why, sis. It's because they do not want to see an ethnic person do well. You
yeah,
see it in so many other sports. I mean, okay, I mean, I'll give you an example, okay? I was at I watch Formula One, okay? Lewis Hamilton is by far the best driver on the grid, okay? But recently he's been getting
yes,
penalised a lot. Why is he getting penalised a lot? Why do you think he's getting penalised a lot, okay? I can talk about others, okay? There are, so many high profile, boxers who are white, who are black and Asian. They get scrutinized if they make even the slightest mistake more than the average whitey person. The fact is, okay, that, when they said, that chap Nathan Coffness, he said it himself. He said, oh, we would come to a situation where there'd be 0% black press. And I was thinking, right, you're a racist, mate. You're an absolute racist. Because where do we live in a society whereby no one... And what we're doing is we're actually making the country, the society worse because we're not focusing on, sorry, I'm going on a bit. We're not focusing on actual talent. We're not focusing on actual skill sets. We're focusing on the
yes.
melanin in your skin. And
With the
it's
skin.
disgraceful. It's still,
It's
I'm
stupid.
Asian, I'm Asian, and, it's, it's the thing, if we do a crime, oh, they're all criminals. They're all criminals. They're all criminals. But, when a whitey, oh, he's just got mental health. Oh, he's just got mental health. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Hypocrites. They're hypocrites. They are hypocrites. We cannot do anything without their vilification. We cannot live. We cannot breathe. We cannot excel. We cannot achieve because of their own mental health issues in terms of their insecurity, inferiority, and jealousy. I just want to pick up the comment section for a minute. Please try and keep your comments to the subject matter. I don't want to see people fighting, going back and forth about stuff that has nothing to do with Jason Arday or John Davidson or English people. Like, literally, it is so irrelevant. Go to your DMs and discuss that. I try to create a safe space that's on topic, because TikTok does not allow you to experience that elsewhere. In this space, this is how it is. I'm also looking for more moderators, by the way, guys, as well. So I am keeping an eye on how you're behaving in the comment section. So I need to have more moderators. You can actually have up to 30 people moderating. So I am constantly looking for people to help keep the conversation on the conversation. And it's very distracting for me if there is a back and forth going in the comment section as well, guys. It's very distracting for me. Yeah, Brown Unsit Brick Gal, I was thinking about adding you as well. So thank you. I'm going to give you permissions now as well, please. So, you see how strict I can be. I will also, for the rules, okay? For everybody who's here, know what gets you muted and blocked. There are some days where we are more strict. I'm more strict. The moderators are more strict. If there are conversations about specific people, especially when someone has lost their life, for goodness sake, it's going to be 100% block on your stupidity, on your lack of empathy, on your internalized racism. It's 100% block, okay? On other days, we might be a little bit more free in the conversation. Sometimes people are able to express themselves in covert racism, because you know me, I'm still going to clock that shit because I'm smart. I know your games, English people, white people. And then if it's a slur, of course, you have the white crash out, which always happens. It's an instant block. And you won't be subject to hearing that disgusting language here through me, okay? You're not going to hear that through this space. So I hope that you're enjoying the conversation so far. I hope that you're learning lots of things about English people, Englishness, what it looks like, what racism looks like, how it presents itself. And of course, we are really tributing Jason Arday. My platform here, if you don't know me, welcome. My name is Fox, and I have used my entire platform to discuss English people. That is what I am doing here on this planet right now. I am discussing English people and the depth of their racism. I'm also exposing people like JB90 who don't understand that they are the ones who are racist, and they say that everybody else is racist because they are so pathetic and they're not learning about their own history, the fact that they are the people that created race and racism. JB has reached the end of his learning. So we need to stop reacting to these people, okay, guys? This is also about our own boundaries and our own limits, right? This is where we're at. This is where we should be. Reving, have you got any more things that you want to add, please?
Yeah, I just want to say, with regards to the whole John Davidson thing, I mean, regardless of Tourette's, I grew up with autism. So regardless of what condition you've got, there are certain kind of words you just keep out your mouth, and that N-word is one of those horrid words ever. And I've had that idiot just came on here earlier and said it so frequently, just shows, it's never gone. And, it never will go. And it ultimately, what was that word? Ultimately, a black professor in America who said, ultimately, whenever I hear that word, I freeze because I'm reminded of the times what it was like back in the day when we had to get on segregated buses and where you couldn't walk on the street, funny. It's a abhorrent word. It's a disgusting word. And I think ultimately the thing is the fact they say, using Tourette's, that's actually an insult to people who actually have Tourette's.
Have Tourette's, yeah.
And, would never say that word.
Yeah, do you know the point I made at that time, right? Is that they used his disability as an excuse to say the N-word, right? So they didn't understand that a lot of words, of course, come through culture. They were trying to blame rap music. Does this guy look like he looks like rap music? Listens to rap music. He grew up in like the 1970s in Scotland, where racism was rife on the streets. They were hurling that word out like it was the word "the." It was that common.
It was
right?
That word, and it was the P words.
Yes, exactly. But the thing is, right, at the Baftas, Black people were the only people that experienced any racial slurs. They were the only group, right? So there was brown people there. There was people from other parts of Asia. He didn't hurl any racial slurs at them. Oh, no. And even they tried to say, oh, yeah, he hurled a homophobic slur at Alan Cummings. Calling someone a PDF is not a homophobic slur. That's your own homophobia. If you're associating homosexuals with paedophilia, that's you. That's you, for goodness sake, because we know the majority of PDFs are straight white men. That's
They are the
your
majority.
internalized hope. Exactly, they
No,
are
no,
the
no,
majority.
no, no, sis,
And they even
sis,
tried to say they also
they want everyone
right.
to
One
say
minute,
that,
one minute. Let me finish my point. Also, what's his name? The guy Warwick Davis was also there. You guys know Warwick Davis, the little person. There was no slurs hurled against him. No non-PC comments hurled towards him, was there? No. Only the black people experienced his Tourette's in a racial form 3 times, by the way. It was not an isolated incident at Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan on the stage. It happened 3 times to 3 different people because John Davidson is a racist man with Tourette's. With Tourette's. Racism doesn't disappear because you've got Tourette's. He was a racist man with Tourette's. And that's how it was. Revin.
Exactly. And you know what? Okay, there was just a bloke in the comments that said, "Oh no, majority of PDFs are Pakistani grooming girls." I'm like, no, 85% of them, 90% of them, they are whitey straight males. That's all they are. They are whitey straight males. They're just not reported as much because, as always, if an ethnic does it, demonization, the whole religion, culture, anything ethnic. If a whitey person does it, oh, they've got mental health, or they've got that's actually an insult to people who actually have that condition. That's an insult to people who have that condition. But no, look, bless this. Okay, stay strong.
Thank you so much. Thank you, bro. DD70 in the comment section says, that's not accurate. DD70, correct me. Correct me, DD. Come to the panel if you wish, or make your comments in the comment section. Correct me. Because you white people are the advocates, apparently, of all disabilities. You know everything to do with everything on the planet because you're that smart, by the way. Or so you say. You know everything there is to learn or know. So correct me, DD. What was inaccurate? Oh, your comments about yourself, which obviously is not about yourself, you're just derogatory. That is a mute, DD. Goodbye. Goodbye. Right, we got Lawrence, my dear. Lawrence, are you back? Or Alex, are you back? Alex or Lawrence? Are either of you there? Lawrence, you're here. Have you finished eating? Normally you're like eating or something.
Nah, it's this time of the evening now. I've been in and out of the place, man. Anyway, I just want to say blessings, sister, and rest in power to the man, you know what I mean? Jason Arday, like it's come as a real, like I wouldn't say shock. It is a shock, but I'm not surprised. Do you know what I mean? When I read the whole thing, you know what I mean? And like this guy, this John Davidson guy, I was just looking up him. I don't even know about this guy. I've seen him, but I didn't even know about this thing, what he did at this occasion with Delroy Lindo and Jason B. Jordan. You know what I mean? Like the way that they excuse themselves. But anyway, yeah, getting back to this thing about Jason Arday, like I'm not surprised because this is the kind of behavior that I've come to expect from them anyway. Do you know what I mean? And racism is something that just like is something that belongs to them, not us. Do you know what I mean? Because they created it, right? And if anybody's going to change it, it's going to be them, not us. We've already done enough pushback already, right? It's a testimony to us that we're actually still here, that we survived their 500-year onslaught, that we're still here standing, right? And we're achieving amongst all of this pushback that we've been having for centuries. We're pushed back today, as you can see with this brother, right? Now, a lot of things have been wrestling with me, right? It's like, why do we want to go to their institutions? Do you know what I mean? Now, I get the part that we want to achieve, right? But like, I can't imagine what it's like being a black man amongst these institutions every day working. Even as a student, but let alone as a lecturer or a professor, I can't imagine what that must be like. Do you know what I mean? You know what it's like for us as black people, right? When we leave our community and we leave our home and we step into the white world, we have to put on a different persona just to survive, right? That's true, right? We have to be a different person.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Lawrence, but yes, Olori, I'm also noticing that today. I don't think a lot of my moderators are here. Olori, if you'd like to be moderated today, please do say yes, because I will give you moderator privileges, because if you can see me, I'm tapping the screen because I'm doing too much moderating today. It's not really what I usually end up doing. So Olori, if you'd like to be, yes, thank you so much, Olori. I will add you as well as a moderator. Sorry, Lawrence, I'm coming to you real quickly again so you can continue. Yeah, because the comment section is going off with such stupidity down there, that today, you know, it is really all about protecting this space and keeping us, yeah, Laurie, yeah, block them all. Like, go for it. Any of this stupidity about me as well, like, you know, these people are fucking sad losers talking about, oh, you come up here like, oh, get a job. You ain't got a fucking job, apparently. Your job is actually to come and harass black and brown people. You know, that is actually your job, I think. And you get some pleasure out of it. But I've literally just got a restriction, which is so funny because I thought I was saying some stuff earlier that was worse. So, yeah, just got a restriction. Anyway, yes, Lawrence, are you there, please?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, man. Like, for me, like, racism is just like prejudice plus power. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they've just been abusing that power for so long. Like, where do we actually go from here is the question I want to ask.
Who,
what do we do next? Yeah, where do we go from here? Like,
we
you know, like
keep moving.
You're out of Babylon, right?
Yes, and so are
I'm
you.
out of Babylon, right? And I'm out of Babylon, right? Like, you know the words of Marcus Garvey. Get the hell out of these places. Yeah? Get the hell out of what you call Babylon, America, England, go back to where you come from, or just get the hell out of these places because they're going to crumble. I believe that this is the stage we're in now of these countries crumbling, and a lot of us are stuck in there, right, in this mess because
capitalism.
Exactly right, end stage capitalism. Because like this is why nationalism. If you've been living in the UK for many years, you would notice that like every time there's like a recession or the economy's bad, they start targeting immigrants, black people, everybody like that, right? Yeah, Jason. Yeah. So
sorry, I was saying to the chat, sorry, tap the screen. Please keep tapping the screen. Let's try and get to 50K, please, guys. Let's get to 50K. So continue, please, Lawrence. Sorry to interrupt.
Racism, man, like, it's something that, like, it's not going to actually go anywhere until they stop it. They have to end racism, right?
Yeah.
And I feel it's the white women that have to end the racism, not the men. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones who have to push up on the white men. I don't know.
I feel, yeah.
Because, you know, they're good at crying. They're good at crying.
Because they're good at crying. Yeah, but white men are the ones who are normally making the white women cry, though. Like, they are the cause of the
they
tears.
need to cry more.
It really is.
Do you know what I mean?
No, but I think it's actually more to do with the men. Like, the men are the ones who actually built this system, right? They're the ones who actually uphold it. So it's literally up for white men to hold other white men accountable. I've said this to white men on this app. I've literally said to them, you're holding these lives talking about racism, but you know fuck all about it. You don't know anything about what it looks like, how it actually... we're getting a lot of racists right now. So thank you, Olori, for being on it.
They don't understand the structure.
Yeah,
they don't understand
but it's
the structure.
white men.
The systemic.
It's actually but it's actually white men holding other white men accountable. This is very important because they hold the power. They created their power. Let's say not the power, their power in their organization of whiteness. So they are the ones that need to unpack this. What we're seeing and why the white man is crashing out is because they know that they have been very racist without actually realizing that they're racist, because they've tried to be friends with black and brown people, but now it's their own guilt. So you'll see a lot of white men who are like, oh, do you know what, I feel really guilty, and you know, I can't have relationships with black and brown people anymore as friends or in relationships. It's also part to do with, you know, the fact that it's men and women aren't dating as well, and especially in the UK, a lot of multiracial relationships were existing, right? So those relationships became fractured, and then now white men are thinking, okay, I liked a black and brown person because I liked them, they looked attractive, I liked their personality, but now they're causing to reflect upon themselves because insecurity is part of it, which I know you know because we've talked about that before, Lawrence. The insecurity within themselves is not even allowing them to approach us, which is good, because the universe has literally put a wall down now and said, you're not going to be doing this anymore until white people understand what racism is, what it looks like, and actually understands that they are racist, right? So that's why we have this thing now. But that's why now it's the white man's choice, whether he's crumbling or crashing out or his racism is coming out, or he's actually doing the work to decolonize. And so
Yeah.
that's where the white man is. But it's literally up to them to unpack it. White women
yeah, they have to
themselves are
dismantle it.
more dealing with it. Yeah, but white women right now, they're more dealing with the independence part, you know, their careers. They're also not being in relationships with
The
men.
thing I was
It's
making
more
about the
their
crime was
independence.
a joke thing, really. You know what I mean? I wasn't
Okay.
really serious, because I'm saying, like, you know what I'm trying to say is, like, their tears, when they start crying, they get what they want. You know what I mean? And they start
Yeah,
screaming.
makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah,
But
yeah. I missed
but
the joke, sorry.
yeah, they need to nag at their men, if you get what I'm saying, yeah. And maybe
Yeah.
their men will wake up. But like, yeah, I honestly don't see, like, this is a wake up call for the younger generation, right, of black people in Britain who have been comfortable around white people and calling themselves Black British and all the rest of it. This is their wake up call now. Let's see look how Black British you are now. Look what they do to a Black British. Look what they did to Jason Arde, right? How long ago was it since they did the same thing to Meghan Markle? Do you know what I mean? It's like they like this little
And
time
it's still
frame.
ongoing.
And it's still ongoing. It's still ongoing. Like today, this morning I was watching this thing on morning TV in England or something, and it, just like as usual, they bring two black men to the panel, right? So they bring one who's
Oh God.
like 100% like, you know what I mean, like this is a
Yeah.
racist thing, and then they got the little coon over there, and he's saying something completely
Yep.
different, right? And his
Yep.
the coon's excuse was that this time of year in England is silly season because the government are away and there's not much stories to write. That was his
Jesus
excuse.
Christ.
Do you
Jesus
know what I
Christ.
mean?
I honestly hate it. England
Yeah,
knows
but
what it's
Fox,
doing.
you get pooed
England,
on for a living and do
England,
dominatrix.
England,
You do dominatrix.
England is such a stupid little country, like honestly, and the way that certain black people aren't understanding the games is
England
wild
is a
to me.
stupid little country, correct.
Yeah, it is. It is very stupid. So, guys, can you block obviously veteran, which I know is Mikey, because Mikey's a fucking weirdo, Mikey Ryan, however many 100 names, and then Cappy also can be blocked. So if you guys can find them, please block them. Thank you very much. We will continue the conversation. This is the funny thing about racists, right? It's like they're so obsessed with black people and they're obsessed with me and the black conversation. Like, this is the thing. They've always been obsessed with us, right? They can't go to their spaces and be racist. Like, they literally need black people around for their racism. They need us. I think this is what's really interesting, and I make this point a lot, right? I always say, if white people, and which we know that this happened in history, right, is that if white people managed to get rid of every single black and brown person on this planet, they would turn on themselves, because we have seen that in history from like however many BC, right? White people were fighting themselves over and over and over, everywhere.
Centuries.
They weren't keeping it. Yes, centuries they were fighting. I have a video on my other account, which has got like, I don't know, 30,000 likes, whatever it's on, I don't know. And it's white on white crime. Because they've been fighting for so long. But then the fighting got less and less and less when they discovered black and brown people.
Yeah, they found an other.
That's what they did.
They found an other.
Yes, exactly. They found an other because they had serious wars. We had small battles. Small
tribal
battles.
skirmishes.
They had
Tribal skirmishes.
Yeah, tribal skirmishes. These people had 2 world wars. It wasn't world wars. It was white on white crime.
And hundreds of religious bloodbaths in between.
Yes, exactly. This is exactly what I did. Alori, thank you, girl. You are on it. Thank you so much, Alori, for agreeing to be moderator. Yeah, you're on it. This is how we're doing it. So, yeah, Lawrence, this is how it is. And for people to deny that there are English people to deny that they're not racist, you always have racists coming here all of the time. The thing is, I am always hovering my finger over the disconnect button because I already know.
Yeah, I see that now. Yeah,
I'm always like, when you bring in the panel and I see the profile picture and I see what it looks like, I'm like, disconnect. Because you are racist. You are proving the point. English people are racist. So stop lying and saying that you're not. We see you. Thank you very much for being who you are. Just stop lying about it. Stop lying. Thank you, everybody. Please tap to 50K. We want to try and get to 50K.
Yeah,
These numbers are
we
too
thank
low,
them for
guys.
showing their faces.
1 minute, Lawrence. Yes, we do. Lawrence, 1 minute. Guys, please tap the screen to 50k. We want more people to come to the conversation to understand what we're talking about here. Because when we start tapping the screen, it actually pushes this live out to the algorithm, because we know TikTok is a cesspit. We want to have more spaces where we can discuss racism in an intellectual manner and actually be able to talk about topics without getting distracted by the racists themselves. Too much on TikTok, you'll have lives talking about racism, but you get all the racists as part of the conversation. Thank you, NY Steezy. Yeah, I'm in colour today. You know, I was in black yesterday, for those of you who know, and you were here and saw. Yeah, so this is why we have moderators, and thank you for Mazzy and for Olori, who's joined the team, and also Cypriot Gal, I don't know if you're still here. Thank you also for joining the moderation team. Appreciate you guys a lot. This is all about keeping us on code, keeping us on topic. So thank you, Lawrence. I'm going to move to the next person now. But Lawrence, you know, you've been here a few times. If there's anything else you want to add, thank you, Brown Eyes Cypriot Gal. Please put your hand up in the comment section. If I see you, then I will... yeah, Mazzy, I'm definitely going to add you as well. Thank you, Mazzy, because you are also on it too. So I'll add you. See, look at the team, guys. It's growing. We are tackling racism and the racists head on. Mazzy Carter, Mr. Carter, you are a moderator. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Please, also, my name is Fox with 2 X's, guys, in the chat, including you. I know sometimes it's an autocorrect, but my name is Fox, Foxx. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now we've got Devout Kelvin, please, next. Kelvin, how are you? Kelvin, are you there?
Mom,
Yes.
I'm doing well. I'm doing
Good.
well.
Good.
I've been
What would you like to
listening
add?
to you for a minute, and you see, we need people like you to stand for the black community. You're doing extremely well. You see, this is the voice that we will ensure we do not allow these minnows to come onto the platform to silence, because we don't have enough voice to penetrate through these dark voices that subdue and subjugate us to all these stupid tyranny that we've been going through for the last 500 plus years. And we will have to do everything we can in our blood to support the likes of Fox V. I'm coming here. You know, I've been monitoring you for a minute, and everything you put on board is fact upon fact. You don't exaggerate. I mean, of course, if you exaggerate, I wouldn't be here.
I actually don't know why. I think people were just mass reporting. Yeah, I think they were... Yeah, I think everybody was just mass reporting that live because they were too sensitive and too fragile. Yeah, of course it doesn't. So for some of you, I need to, of course, add moderation permissions on this account. So we will add you all again for those lovely people who have also joined to moderate. So that's Brown Eyed Cypriot Gal, also Mazzy as well. Mazzy with an I. Mazzy with an I. The funny thing is, I can't actually look at the part that they actually shut me down for because they've muted it already. So I don't actually know what part that they actually did. Yeah, my live got shut down, Jess. Because, yeah, white men don't like conversations about race. They don't like conversations about race. But this is the thing. I've got another account and I've got another account. You can't silence me, man. You can't silence me. But you saw that there was that influx of all those racists, right? Yeah, putting the swastika and shit like that down there. I saw them do it. But yeah, me talking about racism is a violation. It's actually silly. So I'm hoping that people who actually left that or were on that live do end up coming back to this. Yeah, Lawrence Sam, I got my live booted. It actually just shut down. So yeah, people are reporting they have nothing better to do. This is them. This is how it is. This is what white fragility looks like, guys. We see it very much in all of its entirety. This is them. They created the system of race and racism, but don't like us discussing it, which is the most hilarious and ironic thing. Yeah. Lawrence Sam, yes. Yeah, this is where we're at. Lawrence, are you there?
Yeah. What happened?
Yep. Yeah, no, yeah, they mass reported it, I think, because I couldn't, they were reporting it. So what happens a lot of the time is when you get these Nazis, they go around and they literally just report. And then because there's so many reports, the live gets shut down. And it's only to do with fragile feelings. Yeah, it's to do with their fragile feelings. Even though I haven't said anything offensive or anything, I said stuff that would hurt their feelings a little bit, right? But even a bit, as I was mentioning, I was talking, and when I put my hand here, all I could see, because it's mute, how he had Tourette's and that he was racist and the things that he was saying. I think maybe that was the part that they didn't like. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Today,
even though I gave my reasoning and my logic, it's like, no, I'm not just accusing him of something. I'm saying this is why X, Y, and Z. And therefore, because you know what, like, they don't like people being smart.
Just this morning, right, I was on this chat, right, this live chat in America, right? And it took me a while to work out. There was this one white guy and this black girl, right? They were running this chat, right? So the black girl, you see, she was really like, she was on it, right? But so was this white guy, right? And they had their theme like you had your theme. And then they had this like question thing. It was like, are white people inherently racist? So when they, predominantly most of the people coming on were white people. And as soon as they came on, he did most of the talking, right? And then she did the explaining. And as soon as they came on and they tried to divert, he would just go, answer the question or fuck off. And he just fucked them off straight away. Just give them an inch and they're gone. Do you know what I mean? I like that. And like, they wasn't having no shutdown because they wasn't given no chance. And because he was a white guy, that's where he was getting away with it, right? And the point we were trying to make is like, it takes them, they have to do the work. Like he was doing the work this morning. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. But isn't it funny how they would rather get a live shutdown than sit and listen and learn? Like this is Neanderthal brain. They're just not able, I don't think, to go past that next level of understanding. Yeah.
When they got their show running, when they're talking about us, we're not in there. I'm not in there. I don't want to know. I don't want to listen to them.
Their energy is bad. Exactly. Well, that's why we can't be in their space, because of the bad vibes, but they can come here because it is good vibes. They know that we have the light. We have the light. And they're always drawn to that. No, we're just not hating on them. I'm very critical of the English people, and I'm very critical about the things I dislike.
Oh, same here, but I don't hate them. I don't hate no one.
No, exactly. We don't have hate. Like they are the hateful people. They are the hateful people, and we can be very truthful. Like I talk about the fact that they're ignorant to a lot of racism and to the things that have happened in their own history. I talk about the passive aggressiveness. I really can't stand. Like they don't like direct. The cognitive dissonance. I talk about the arrogance as well that comes with it, the fact that they think they saved the world when they made it worse than it's ever been. I talk about all those little things, but because they don't have the ability to actually understand nuance, these people don't know what nuance means. They just blanket everything and they just say, everything is racist. You are racist. Black people are all the same. Brown people are all the same. Muslims are all the same. Like everything is just the same. Very black and white thinking and no thinking about the grey. And then when they go to the grey, they try to reverse it, right? So they'll just say, well, black people can be racist too because they're talking about racism. Kia, exactly. You're not understanding nuance, because does that say all English people are racist? You don't know what nuance means. Kia, that does not say all English people are racist. I've explained very clearly why English people are racist, because racial hierarchy, history, current day events.
Also, if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it then. Like, I don't... Like,
exactly.
Do you know, a long time ago I read somewhere that only 80% of the population don't have common sense, and it really fucking shows. Guys, please, a lot of this is common sense. Give your heads a wobble.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I definitely would believe it, but I would like to know how they actually tested that.
I will have to go and look. But I read this when I was like, I'm 27 now. I probably saw that when I was like 23 or something. This is a long time ago. I don't know if it was accurate or what, but I just started running with it because I was like, do you know how much dances I come across in my day-to-day life? It's too much now. Guys, please, like, it's not that hard. It's really
and
not.
Also, first of all, hello, El Pimpiano. It has been a long time since I've seen you. So thank you for coming, girl. Really appreciate you. Lawrence, I'll come back to you, of course, when there's opportunity again. But El Pimpiano, we, of course, are talking about Jason Arday and English people being racist. Also, the hypocrisy. So if you remember, it is about John Davidson during the Baftas, how he slurred the N-word. And then people were like, no, he's disabled. He's got Tourette's. You know, we understand him. We're really advocates for disabled people and people on the spectrum. But when it came to Jason Arday, who had autism, he was non-verbal to 11. All of the lies that were spouted about him, now he got what he deserved. So I'm pointing out the hypocrisy in their own racism. They will always protect and defend their own. Thank you so much, Mercy. Thank you for the gift goal. Amazing. Thank you, guys. Let's please tap until we get to 15K. I was just on the live on my other account, but the racists came along and shut me down. So that's why we're also on this account. Racists, you will never be able to silence me. Ha, 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 ha. Racist, you'll never be able to silence me. Never. I've got backup upon backup upon backup. You can't do it. It will never be done. So El Pimpiano, what else would you like to add, please?
Do you know, I think this comes down to a lot of people not viewing Black people as full people with all different complexities. I think that's part of it. As everyone else is, we are also complex. We also have issues. We also have disabilities. We also we have our own things going on. And part of this feels like some people don't view us as human or view us as subhuman. That's where, I think that's where this comes from. Because
let me just sort of add a bit more perspective on that. We are actually the humans here on this planet, but white people aren't, and so they actually try to project everything onto us what they're not. So they don't see us as human being because they are not, right? So that's what makes sense, right? They say that we're the hateful people when they're the ones who are hateful. They're the ones that created race and racism because they saw the light in us. They saw the light in Jason Arday, and this is why we have to do it. And thank you as well, Jess. Yeah, the Neanderthal DNA. This is what it is when we're talking about science. This is not just opinion. This is actually facts. And this is why it's up to Black people not to claim any of their negative energy upon us, right? And this is why I'm also saying at the same time, Black people need to get their mental health up, because English people and white people are so in the Neanderthal, they will go and go and go and go and go at you because they don't really have this inherent empathy, which is what Black and brown people have, melanated people have. And that's why even after Jason's passing, they're still hounding him. They are not human. We are the humans.
Oh yeah, the lack of empathy is actually disgusting. And you know what it is? And this must just be because I'm a Black woman. I will never understand how you can look at someone and their skin color can make you see them differently as a human being. That will never... I've never been able to understand it. And you know what? I don't want to understand it. You know why? Because I'm not a mad person. I don't want to be able to understand mad people. I really don't. I have no business understanding why these men think the way they do, because I'm not like that. But it will never... I get where you're coming from, because it's a projection. Everything is a projection. Even the way people will say, "Oh, you guys are uncivilized. You're violent. You're this. You're that." If I look at what your people were doing before Africans came and found you, hey. Remember people weren't bathing and the plague was wiping out the country. The Roman Empire. Never forget that. I don't know why we've come okay, cool, it's been a very long time since those things happened, but at the same time it hasn't been that long. These are things that are registered in history. These are things that have been written down. There's books about it and all of that, but somehow we are the ones that are uncivil. Us who had universities before them, who had libraries before them,
had medicine before them, had science before them, had astrology before them, had lights before them, had roads before them. We had everything because we are the earliest civilization.
My language, what I speak back home, we have our own, what I like to explain to people as our own version of Latin. right? Gutters. That is older than that's older. These men weren't even talking when we was talking. I don't even want to hear it. They weren't writing things down when we were writing things down. I just it's so stupid, and there's just a level of cognitive dissonance that I cannot wrap my head around, and it is so it's not even shocking is not the right word, but when I say shocking, I mean it is shocking how stupid people can be and how slow people can be.
Yeah,
it's a lack of common sense. Too. And the way they're doing this guy, Jason Arde, amazing, beautiful soul, while we still had him, R.I.P., is absolutely disgusting, and it is a testament to how much hatred and evil is within some of these people. And again, I'll never sit here and say that every single English person is like that, because I do not think that's the case. But it's too many. Yeah. It's the same way people say, men are the problem, or men are this or men are that. Well, it doesn't mean that every single man is like that, but it means that too many of you have done it. For some reason, and I've clocked this more with white women, is that you can understand when we say it about men, but you can't understand it when we say it about white people. It doesn't... It's not that hard to understand. We're not saying every single individual is a terrible person. It's not that. But there's too many people that are acting this way for us to dismiss it and be like, yeah, we trust all of you. Yeah. No, you're gonna get put through some tests before me and you can even have conversation and be cool like that, because I don't trust anyone anymore. You people are scary. It's actually fucking scary now. This is how you're treating a person who's passed away. They're no longer with us, and this is how you're you're speaking ill of the dead. Yeah. When God will come and get them. Karma will come and get them.
God, it's already here. It's already been happening. I talk a lot about karma on my platform. I talk a lot about karma. I've talked about the wildfires in England, the fact that it's England that is burning.
This is why they'll never win the World Cup again.
Yeah, we've talked about that before as well. World Cup is also karma. Wales, Scotland, Ireland is, they're still green. England is dry. You've also have even in the Kent area, there's literally an area that looks like an eye, for goodness sake. You need to look at the picture. I've talked about the excess deaths. Back in 2023, there were 70,000 excess deaths in 1 year. In 1 week in Europe, there is 20,000, and the numbers will be higher. I talked about in COVID, the most white people died during COVID. It was 2 million people. They don't even recognize that. In COVID, 2 million Europeans died. This isn't even including what happened in America, by the way. This is people like Europeans died. So this is exactly what's happening. The karma is already here. It's already been dished out. This is why the white people are crashing out. They know that their souls are being tested. It is, are you going to become anti-racist, or are you going to stay racist? I've only been spiritually awakened for 2 years. I know that there is some place called hell now. I do know it. I know that there are tortured souls, and the tortured souls are the ones who haven't learned anything, are going to go downstairs, and the other people are going to go up. Honestly, it's crazy for me to even say this. If you'd met me beforehand, you would have heard me say, there is nothing more. It's finished. You die. You are dust. You don't come back. But I know for a fact now, because I've been shown it. I was scared. I cried so much in my dreams. When I was awake, I was shown things. Honestly, I've seen too much, so I know things. And white people, this is the white people's test. Yes, there have been other tests for other parts of civilization, but the white people's test is really to understand your part in humanity, how we've got to where we've got to, and if you are going to become anti-racist. If you don't, you are going to the place of fire. And
do you know
this
what?
is why it's heating up as well. So let me talk about the heat real quick, and then I'll bring you back in, El Pimpiano. The heat is specifically over Europe. I talked about it being dry, but let's talk about the heat. The heat is getting so hot that even someone else came here, Eva, who's also a white woman, by the way. She was like, white people need to get used to this heat, because she even knew as a white woman that white people go to hell. She literally said that. She was like, we have to get used to the heat because hell is a hot place. And that's what it's actually doing. It's getting you prepared to actually go downstairs. So yeah. Droog says 100% right, but Def are a better example than Davidson. I don't understand what you mean, Droog. Do you want to elaborate? No, Davidson. So you don't understand the explanation, Droog. John Davidson was a racist. His disability was the excuse. He was in a room full of diverse people, and only his slurs, ethnic slurs, racial slurs, came out towards black people. There were no slurs towards brown people, no slurs towards other South Asian people, no slurs towards Warwick Davis, who was a little person, no homophobic slurs towards Alan Cummings. There were no slurs toward anyone else. It was generally the things he was saying was shut up, be quiet. It was all that. That was his slurs. No slurs. But it was when the black people were out, it wasn't one time he said it, Droog, it was 3 times. He is racist man with Tourette's. One does not cancel out the other.
Wouldn't be in your vocabulary if that's not how you think. Sorry.
Exactly.
Listen, why is it in your vocabulary? Like, my partner's not, he's not black, he's whitey, but it's not in his vocabulary, so I'll never catch him slip up and say it singing along to a song or nothing. Because it's not a part of the vocab. Why would it be a part of your vocabulary? That is not for you to be saying. Same way there's other slurs for other groups of people. It's not a part of my vocabulary. So you will never catch me saying it. No, and I people are like, oh, but the Tourette's thing, and I hear all of that, but why is it a part of your vocabulary? Clearly, you're saying it in some other capacity as well. Yeah. Because you could have said the P word, you could have said the word for little people that begins with an M. All of these things you could have said, but no, we're the only targets, right? Just us. Cool.
Exactly. So even so, right, this whole point of this live is pointing out the hypocrisy. It's English people who had so much empathy for John Davidson and none for Jason Arday. It is really the point that is being made here. There was so much rallying around and being like, we are disability advocates. This is English people. We know everything about disabilities. We know everything about copralia, because you guys had to go to the internet and be like, right, we need to now fill our brains with everything to do with disabilities, even though you are an ableist society, by the way, and you only just did it because you saw a white man. But when it's a brown man, a black man, you can in a minute, when it's a black man who's got autism, I clearly say there, he's got autism, was non-verbal, he got what he deserved. He's got Tourette's, we must understand. It is the hypocrisy, Droog. It is really the hypocrisy. That is exactly what we're talking about. English people did have empathy for Davidson, Droog. What on earth were you at? Where were you? English people were honour us, honour everybody, saying that we had to be empathetic. Anti-racist mum, do you want to pop up? Because this is a white man saying this. And Droog, normally you're like, all right here. But anti-racist mum, are you here?
I just cleaning the windows of my car. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the comments. Can you? What was this?
So remember the time during the Baftas, right, where the N-word was said by John Davidson, who had Tourette's. Do you remember that? Yeah. So do you remember around that time, English people were really all of a sudden disability advocates for John Davidson?
Yeah, because they think that their disability excuses or eliminates or erases white privilege, when it does not at all. Like, you can still have a disability and be packaged in white flesh and be absorbed into whiteness and still experience white privilege, because the privilege of our packaging doesn't mean that we don't experience hardships or other forms of marginalisation under the axis of evil. It just means that whiteness is the barrier that stops us from having empathy and uniting. And it's you can't erase your white privilege by crying about your disability.
Yeah, Droog, I don't know why you're spamming my comment section now. Like, what's wrong with you today? I don't know if you've drunk something, or like, why are you crashing out in my comment section? Like, what's going on, Droog? I don't know what you're doing, but you're kind of annoying me now. Can you guys mute him for like 5 minutes or something? Droog, you're annoying me. It's really very self-explanatory. Well, come up and explain yourself then. Come up and explain yourself. I don't know what you're saying, like, at all.
There was something I wanted to say. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm gonna move to Jess now, because Jess has been waiting. But I'll come back to you, El Pimpiano. Jess, how are you?
Hello. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt anyone earlier. I was just agreeing with the point. I'm going to drop after I say my piece, because I'm going to go back to sleep. I'm knackered. But But yeah, I agree with the prompt. I mean, there's not much else that can be said. It's absolutely heartbreaking what's happened to Jason Arday, to be honest. It's awful. Accountability needs to be taken. I think, you know, everyone's going on about sort of the media taking accountability, and I agree with that to a certain extent, but I think the university have to as well, because, you know, they hired Jason in the first place. So was it a case of, you know, BLK tokenizing, and
No,
they're
it
happy
wasn't
to
that.
just...
Of course it wasn't. No, it wasn't, Jess. No, it wasn't tokenizing.
Well, that's what they're all going to say.
No, I know, but you know for a fact it's not, because the UK doesn't run like that. They always will employ the most qualified person. Why would they tokenize when it's the first black person to be hired in an institution for 1,000 years?
Yeah,
a
that's true.
1,000 years, they all of a sudden realised that black people are also qualified, in fact, more qualified than white people. And this has always been the problem in the UK, is they will never, and we spoke about this in depth yesterday, a lot of us black people came to the panel discussing our own experiences in employment generally. Black people never get put into managerial positions. That's very rarely ever happens. We could have all the qualifications, the GCSEs, the extra qualifications, whatever we've done that's extracurricular, and we will still never be a manager. We'll still never be a manager. And it takes a long time, and sometimes there is a rare hire, but how long they end up staying in that position doesn't last very long. It doesn't. They always end up quitting, because the closer that they get to the top is the closer that they actually go to understand what systemic racism looks like. And they're heavily bullied by their colleagues, because then the white colleagues think, well, did they get their qualification because of tokenization or because of DEI? And they end up getting bullied. And this is what happened to Jason. He was literally bullied because he was a qualified man who happened to be in a black body. That's how systemic racism works.
It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And it's the constant notion of people not wanting to accept the fact that racism is an issue in the UK. It always has been.
Yes.
You know, until people start to unlearn a load of things, it will always be an issue. So I think there needs to stop being this notion of, oh, we're not a racist country, we don't do racist things, because we do. It's systemic. It's as simple as that, just like you said. And we see it in every single workplace. We see it in every single institution. I'm a student nurse. I see it in the NHS. I see it on my work placements. So that is a rhetoric that needs to stop, obviously. And as white people, we need to do better. To be honest, we need to do way, way better, and we need to unlearn all of these things.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where it is. There's no choice to it now. Thank you so much, guys, for the gifts and joining the fan club and joining the community. Thank you. Yeah, it's white people's responsibility, and I hope that white people don't keep continuing to just talk about, like, we need to do this. It needs to be actively. It is, I am reading so and so and so. I am going to certain spaces and saying that's not quite right. I'm saying this stuff to my friends and family, blah 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 blah, yeah, etc. etc. So that's what we need to hear as the global majority, and also people who are on TikTok. And I always say this a lot of the time: if you're a white person and you can speak, you need to hold your own lives talking about how you are becoming anti-racist or are anti-racist or are unlearning all the phrases that you've just used yourself, Jess.
Yeah.
Like I would say to you, are you also holding space for other white people to discuss what racism looks like and the ways that white people have hurt the global majority? So
yeah, 100%. 100%. So 100%. And I don't run lives anymore. I haven't got a lot of time, but when I do have time, and when I am able to start running lives again, I will be having these conversations, because these conversations are important. These conversations are the most essential conversations we can have in this day and age, because everything comes down to racism at the end of the day.
It's true, it does. It does. Everything. Yeah, this is the problem, because English people and Britain has not taught its civilians how the British Empire actually came about. It was built upon racism. It was built upon upon the racial hierarchy, and everything is on top of that. And so that's why if white people or English people in the UK say, I'm not racist, it's like, well, you actually, your country is, your structure is, how everything is, and you are born into that, which does make you racist. It does, whether you know it or not. And then, because this is the problem, because racism is so subtle in the UK, people don't realise in the ways that they are racist and the ways that they uphold racist systems. So it's not necessarily about the behaviour, it is about how you interact with things that still actively keep black and brown people oppressed or get them freaking killed, you know. So English people will say, well, I didn't do it. Like, no, but you left one of the tens of thousands of comments about Jason Arday accusing him of doing something that he didn't do because you are inherently racist. That's why, like, this is how this stuff shows up. And then for them to always try to deflect now, which what they're doing is, well, it's the media's fault. No, there are a few handful of journalists, but like I say, there was tens of thousands of comments from English people or white people saying horrific stuff about Jason, horrific stuff, and nothing negative about John Davidson, who actually is racist. So, you know, this is it. So I see anti-racist mum in the comment section is saying that she runs lives as well. She's starting to do that now.
I just wanted to respond quickly because it's going to be too long what I'm about to post, but what I'm about to write. But anti-racist mum, I'm working those times. I'm working at 1 on Thursday, unfortunately. So I will pop in. I've given you a follow. Please share it to me if it's still running when I finish, because I only work like 4 hours on a Thursday. So when it sorry, words. I'm so tired. If I finish and you're still on, then I will come and join and listen in, definitely.
Cool.
So
thank you very much, Jess. Thank you. I am going to move to. Thank you.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to move
fine.
to. Perfect, thank you. I'm going to move to anti-racist mum now. Anti-racist mum, what would you like to add about Professor Jason Arday?
Oh, there's so much that I could add, but I was at the vigil last night, and
which one, London or Cambridge?
Trafalgar Square, and a moment that really struck me there, whilst listening to speeches, was there was a lady speaking who is now doing her masters at Liverpool University as a direct result of a conversation with Professor Jason Arday when she was about to give up doing everything and she'd lost all belief in herself, and she described it as he breathed that life, that belief, that passion back into her. And I think we need to use that analogy to breathe empathy and love back into all of us. And like, for me, as a white packaged sun allergy person, raised and trained into upholding whiteness through my thoughts, my feelings, my behaviours, I want to really commit to bringing other buffer class women along on this journey, because we can be the only ones. The prolapsed ovary sun allergy crew have demonstrated time and time again they lack the emotional capacity to evolve. So we have to change, and we have to consistently keep changing and keep modelling that change in how we show up. So yeah, I'm going to be doing those lives, and I'm not sure if Jess is still in the comments, but I have a Breaking the Silence workbook in my link in bio, which has an email automation where you get a video talking you through that and how to use that workbook. But it's got some scripting in it for breaking our generational patterns of silence that we maintain through family scripting, workplace scripting, community scripting, stuff that's embedded within us, that if we can reframe that and challenge that narrative inside ourselves and show up differently, we can really start to disrupt things. It cannot go on like this at all. And we are the only ones that can actively, properly disrupt and start working with Black women, global majority, elders, working with people, but we can only work with global majority people once we've dismantled whiteness within us, because whiteness keeps us showing up harmfully.
Yeah, there's one thing which is really interesting to hear from your perspective, because somebody brought up love earlier, but it was actually a black person that mentioned it, and I got annoyed because when I was watching some of the vigil, right, of course through TikTok, and I was annoyed that there was not enough anger there. I was genuinely annoyed because I thought, why are they focusing on, oh, look at the 30,000 people here, it's full of love? Like, Jason is not here because we weren't angry enough at the institutions or angry enough at the people who are racist. Not because we love them or we love ourselves or whatever. Like, it's because we're not angry enough. So it annoyed me, and I was annoyed that people were not angry there. I wanted to see people raging. I wanted to see people fighting. Yes, we're grieving, but it's too much now. It's actually too much. And I mentioned about the energy of the UK. It makes you very submissive. It makes you very humble, or just very somber. And I was annoyed. So that's what annoyed me. But hearing it now from you, anti-racist mom, it's made it obviously very clear that white people are the ones who actually need the love, and they're the ones who need to spread this love. They need to find it, because they are the people without the empathy, because we already had the love. We already have it. We need the anger. White people have that anger, but their anger destroyed the world. But you need love, so therefore you can balance out that negative energy that lives within yourself. So, that's where I'm kind of at now, and where I can hear the difference now between the two different cultures of people. And Ken, exactly. In the UK, you learn to be helpless. You do. The vibration is so low there that they make everybody just so docile. And I definitely know a part of the fire that I have is because I've left the UK and because I've left Europe. I can see things very clearly, and I've been reborn essentially, and I have so much confidence and so much more fire, and not as much fear as I used to have living in the UK. You're going back to sleep, El Pimpiano. Good. Go back to sleep. I hope you get some rest. And Martel agrees. Yes, we are not angry enough. Thank you. Anti-racist mum, is there anything else you want to add? You can obviously welcome to stay on the panel. You get priority. You're a moderator. So
thank you so much. I would like to ask, because the lives that I'm going to start doing, I really want them to be safer spaces. I want them. I would request that anybody that is here and would like to be a moderator, basically, if you could DM me, I would really appreciate your support in keeping them a safer space. I have a vision in mind. I only want factual conversation. I don't want any illiteracy aired. I want, historically factual, scientifically factual, theologically factual, economically factual information. I do not want to be, so I do really want to grow a mod team of people that I can trust to help me facilitate a really educational space, a space where growth can happen, where it is uncomfortable for people with my complexion, but uncomfortable, the level of uncomfortable that makes us grow, that drives us forward, that helps us reconnect to our humanity, our empathy, our love, and then start showing up differently, that drives us forward.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. Do you have a sort of idea or structure on how you're going to run your lives? Like, how do you envision them going? Are you going to have topics? Is it going to be a free-flowing conversation? Is it mainly going to be white people? Are you going to do it on different days of white focus, or having people of the global majority as part of the conversation?
So I want to
or is it going to be like intuitive?
So I need to jump in my car because I've got to get my airbag changed in 10 minutes because it's going to combust apparently because of its age. But I'm going to start off for an hour a week on a Thursday, 1 till 2. I'm going to grow them. I want to have invited panelists, pre-invited, where we've planned together the structure for that hour and questions in the chat. But all about growth, all about learning, all about it's going to be connecting in conversation. So it's us having whoever chooses to be like a panelist, a pre-planned panelist, has we've already decided what we're going to talk about, but it's a natural conversation that people are listening to, where we're learning from each other. It's not a hostile environment. It's about modelling growth and accountability, and like me modelling sitting in my discomfort as well. So, with my global majority panel members, because there will be things, and I want to show other people that how I stay present in the moment to learn to hear and not react. And I've been doing in a job recently, I've been having to send a man, I'll throw that over his son at the Gmail, like messages going, you're slipping into your patterns, like just breathe, witnessing. And so it's given me some insight into what I kind of need to model for other sun allergy people. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm so sorry. I will return, because the garage is quite close. So once I've driven there and I'm waiting for my airbag to get it, changed, I will be back. So thank you so much for having me, and I'll see you in a bit.
Thank you, lovely. Thank you. Okay, we've got Taishi now. Taishi, how are you, my love?
Hi. Yeah, not too bad. I'm a bit sleepy, but I had a bit of a full-on day yesterday. There's a lot of stuff going on in general. My thoughts are just all over the place at the moment. I think what I really just want to say is that it never ceases to amaze me, the obsession with demonizing, particularly BLK people. Obviously, in my case,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt you for a minute, just because I want to address something in the comment section before it flies by, and then I'll come back to you. Really apologies to interrupt, because I don't like doing that. Ricardo RP, I think guys in the comment section, moderators, thank you for being on it. Ricardo RP, I'm going to take your comment that you made it as tongue-in-cheek. I think Ricardo was being sarcastic, guys. I've just addressed the comment. So he said in the comment section, I've just come across you. You're the ultimate rage baiter. I love it. For me, I took it as a funny haha compliment, because my content for them is rage bait. But it's not obviously for me. I mean, of course I do sort of like egg them on a little bit. I do say some other stuff, and I even have a playlist called Rage Bait. So I think Ricardo is being, I think we understand each other, Ricardo and I. So please, if you could unmute him, and then we'll see if that is actually what he meant to say, because he will reveal himself otherwise. So if you could please unmute Ricardo, and hopefully, Ricardo, I have understood you and you've understood me, right? Then hopefully we're okay. But I'm gonna continue on with the live now. So I think, Mazia, you're the only person I think that can unmute Ricardo. So if you can, exactly. It's only rage bait if you are enraged. If the shoe fits, does this trigger you? La 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 la. So that's it. But Taishi, please continue.
Yeah, so just in a nutshell, really, then I think, we, with the examples that we've seen, where, we've seen Jason's name being dragged through the mud disproportionately. We've had many examples before that, whether we're talking about Eve Sakila, whether we're talking about Meghan Markle, the fact that Diana dated, I don't know, some, Egyptian guy, Adodi.
Yes.
And it's this,
I talked about that yesterday.
So it's just this aggression. And it's this obsession as well of demonizing people of color that is so confusing to me. I don't, from my point of view, so I know people are going to have their theories about this, but it's just continual. It's like they're fixated on saying, but they're whatever's happened to this individual, they're a bad person. They're a bad person. They're a bad person. When they talk about themselves, they humanize themselves, sadly, Hayden Panettiere passed away recently. The coverage of that, and it's the optics of the blonde, blue, I think she was blue-eyed, whitened lady that always sends them into a, look, rest in peace for sure. But it sends them into a flurry in their minds, because there is something really weird going on. White equals good, BLK equals bad, I guess. And it's like, it's really that simple in their minds. What I don't understand is, has this been cultivated? Is this something in the psyche? Is this just because they can't really say what they want to say and they have to justify things? They have to justify their behavior. But it's actually astounding when you see how people react to real life tragedies and how they dehumanize people. But the final thing that I just want to say, is where I'm going to wrap it up, is that the problem that I've encountered, I think a lot of people have encountered, is that you try and go in a sort of corrective way to put things right. But actually, even that is a luxury. We can't even do that. So I did recently mention that there have been people in our spaces that, for example, me, myself and other people have encountered where we try to either hold them to account gently, because you have to treat it with kid gloves, gently correct them, But I'm gonna reshare this story. There are particular, and I have to say this, guys, and I really say this from the bottom of my soul. There are problematic white women in our spaces, and it's particularly white women when they want to be in the spaces, they want to be absorbed, they want to be seen as allies. And there we have great white women allies, actually we have great, but then we have others that do and say that, or rather they just make the right noises. But when they do things that are not great, for example, excusing a racial slur because, well, that person was really awful to you, so I can see why you use that racial slur. It's like, okay, you do understand that nothing makes a racial slur okay. What I found really difficult is when you try and hold these people to account, the rage that ensues. And I've been in a situation where I really put off calling someone out because I knew that they were going to have an absolute meltdown, and it was
meltdown.
And this was this is a really important thing that we don't talk about. It's that somebody wants to be an ally so bad, but part of the work of being, and this goes for all of us because we can all be allies to some communities that we're not part of. Part of being an ally is to accept and take on what you're being told, reflect on it, and do the work. When your impetus is to fly into outrage because how dare you accuse me, guess what, you were never an ally. And I think this particular individual, I held off for saying anything for such a long time because genuinely deep down I knew that all hell was going to break loose. And what ultimately ended up happening was when the individual got blocked because of subsequent transgressions, yes, they did actually go into a full-on how dare you block me. Mind you, this was the block button, right? Rage, and went on a full-on smear campaign. To my dismay, members of my own community have been complicit in this. So I'm going to give a couple of examples. There was a guy who used to frequent the comments, because we're quite outspoken, you get a lot of hatred, particularly from white men as well, by the way.
Yes.
And so you have your little stalkers where they're there every single time wishing terrible things on you, saying vile things to you continuously. Now, sometimes the people will come and go and then you'll just be like, that's a troll. You'll never really see them again. But I remember there was, I don't remember. It's still to be honest, it was only a few months ago. This person was absolutely dedicated for a period of 3 months of being in whatever live I was in, constantly atting me. And it got beyond, just got beyond where it was like, it was their whole purpose, raison d'etre. And I ended up finally calling them out because the minute something happened, because they used to actually sit in mutual Asian spaces with me, that they were quite friendly with them. And there was a disagreement in the Asian space one day. They leapt upon that opportunity and fully went in the comments. And I called them out and I said, I'm getting really sick of your microaggressions. And they went macro more like, and they just fully went into it. Now, guess what, guys? Guess what? The Asians in that space fully had that person's back over me, because apparently if I say someone's been harassing me for months, where's the proof? I need to prove this, because if
Can we bring it back to the conversation of Jason? And this is like personal stuff.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's why my face is like, what's happening?
I'm really sorry. It's just because.
That's okay. I know the last few days on social media has been very much about like, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I tapped out of this.
Okay,
like,
I understand.
I did my weekend. Yeah, that's okay. I did my weekend, my 3 days. days was like, okay, that's it. I'm diving in. Already stuff has happened. I've tapped out. I'm not there. So yeah, if you can bring it back to actually talking about allyship, and because I don't need to know the full story.
No, of course you don't. But in as much as we are complicit ourselves, you know, the English people and white people generally in Europe are racist, and I think they're emboldened and they're enabled by our own communities. We are also, when we're not being cognizant of what's going on. So, for example, if I call someone out, oh well, guess what? You can't call out a racist because you're racist now. And then we've got people in our own community that are also backing them up. So what I'm saying is the hurdle is calling people out. That's the actual hurdle, because you're getting, so for example, if we want to call out the people that have demonized Jason Arday, you will now be demonized for calling them out. Because you're now
you have
doing
to just
something
accept
wrong.
it. Yeah, you have to accept it. It is like, don't worry about what other people think and feel. Just do what you have to do and what feels good for your soul. The allyship thing is so funny to me. Like, it's such bullshit. There's no allies, because as soon as the going gets tough with a lot of these people, they tap out so easily. And so I let people be as anti-racist or for the global majority for as long as they can be, until they're not, right? And I take them for who they are then. As soon as they show themselves, actually, the problem every single time is, like I said, it's like when it gets too tough, they revert back to their default of racism. And regarding the thing about people in your community or even in mine, I have had a few black men actually come up today and talking about black people being like, well, you know, some of us, of course, did this to Jason. We read the articles, we were saying some things, blah, blah, blah. But I also want to make it clear that I believe, I mean, let me talk about for my black community, because I won't speak on behalf of yours. In black people, I believe a lot of the stuff that they think is the minority. Like, literally, I really do believe that. I've talked about how the UK is such low vibes, it's low vibrational, that people feel so disheartened and they don't do a lot of active fighting. So I think because if you don't see active fighting, you think that everybody else is on the side of reading things about Jason Arday and believing he was a plagiarizer and that he didn't do these marathons and blah, blah, blah. Because we in the black community, we are looking at, I don't know if you heard of the Shade Borough. They do a lot of pieces, on black people, and they did a lot of pieces about Jason Arday, not very positive pieces about him. So now we are, as a community, holding them accountable. For me, I've never read their stuff anyway. The funny thing is, I've even been in Shade Borough myself. So I've never been associated with that. So it makes sense, and we should always call out the people in our community. I mean, that's why the last 3 days, of course, was me as a black woman calling out a black man who was problematic for not even just me. Of course, you shared your story and other people shared their stories too. And it's all about awareness, isn't it, Taishi? It's like having our eyes wide open. But if anything that has taught us over the last 3 days, it is, again, like I keep saying, boundaries, 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 boundaries. If you are letting people say stuff about you and you're reacting, you're giving it energy. And this is what has happened to me just by having this one conversation this weekend and allowing somebody to tell me that someone was talking about me. And then I responded. It was just like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah, man, I'm tapping out. And now I can go back to being drama free, because I've been on this app for 2 years with nothing. But I literally said, I'm not. Yeah, so this is it. Like, guys, yes, we can call out people, but it comes to a point where you have to, exactly, Hetty, I can't stand drama. It's too much. So literally just take a step back and say, do you know what? Maybe I'm doing too much. Everybody needs to take some self-responsibility on the things that they're doing and saying, because the bigger picture is now that Jason Arday is fucking gone because he was bullied to death by discussing racists in the form of English people. That is where we're at. We have to understand, like you said, like these people that pretend to be allies, they're not allies. A lot of this stuff is performative because their souls are dark, man, and they can pretend and they can mask. You know, they can literally do that.
That's kind of just quickly an ending here. That's kind of what I came up is to say that why is the fixation on demonizing, even, let's say in the passing of Jason, the demonization continues. So how can we ever, like, in other words, these institutions and the way that they deal with things can we feel like there's going to be any positive change? In other words, if their focus is on being defensive rather than listening and looking to say, how do we make sure this never happens again? Like, realistically, can we expect this change? That was it.
No, we can't expect it. Anti-racist mum was here. A lot of other people have been here and come by. I accept white people for how they are because they've always been that way. Like I always say, it's literally for us to get our mental health up, for us to actually recognise what racism is so we can fight it in all its forms. People don't realise that there's 7 forms of racism. It is not just name calling. It is so broad in the way it presents itself. So for me, it is very much a case of us understanding what we can do as people, getting our strength up, getting our community up, and recognizing, like you have brought up, that there are people within our community as black or brown people that we need to exile them. Don't spend time with these people. They haven't done the work. So why are we giving them our energy? No. Keep focusing on where you're at. White people will be doing their work. And we have to make sure that we are not allowing them in our space to infiltrate it. Like, Taishi, the block button here is really, it's on. I'm going to address this comment real quick. Pebbles Party, you say James O'Brien is such a traitor, made a career on black people's side. No, James O'Brien is a journalist who has a narcissistic personality disorder. I've called his show before. I called his show it was the year that Sarah Everard died. Let me tell you the story. When Sarah Everard died, I called up to the show because the topic was something like, men don't listen to women or something like that, right? I called up, what did James O'Brien do? He spoke all over me. He was like, yeah, men don't realise it. And I'm like, you've got a wife, have you not? You've got daughters. Just listen. All you need to do is listen. And then all he just kept saying was, but men don't realise. Like, you're not even listening to me, man. You're not even listening. So it's not surprising to me for James O'Brien. Yes, he has some hot takes, and yes, he can be very agreeable, but he has a very uncontrollable ego. That's his problem. When you have a smart white man and his ego is out of control, it's still a bunch of shit. It is literally like a shit explosion, and that is James O'Brien. James Arday, what James O'Brien said is he felt like a mug for defending Dr. Arday. Professor Jason Arday felt like a mug for defending him, which he didn't need to, because there was nothing wrong with what Jason did. He obviously became a part of the media machine by saying that. And for me, James O'Brien always has been. Yeah.
But the hatred is real, and that is really quite difficult to get your head around. The hatred it fully bears its teeth, and it's bewildering because, honestly, I don't want to say it like this, but it's like, why? Honestly, some days I'm just like, why'd you hate us? Like, I'm sorry, but what is going on?
Like I said, they don't hate us; they hate themselves, and everything is projection. We just can't take that energy on anymore. We really can't. Court in the comment. Yeah, thank you, Taishi. Court in the comment section. I don't know how to do that. I'm literally. Oh, you're saying to other people. Thank you for posting the petition. So let me talk about that quick, because I am going to end the live because I've got to go and do some other things, and I've been on for quite some time. The Good Project petition, if you haven't signed it already, Good Law Project, please do sign it. Currently, it is at, let me just get a refresh on where we are at with this signing petition. We're on 103,000 signatures there. Also, the GoFundMe, let me refresh this page as well. Oh, what's happened? Why can't it refresh? Oh, here we go. It's at 192,000 for his family, which is amazing. Really amazing. Thank you so much for the compliment, NY Steezy. I actually do upload these lives to YouTube and to Spotify, and also the RSS feeders, so you can actually hear these all back. So they actually are kind of a podcast anyway, and that's how I kind of record these things anyway. So thank you so much, everybody. So that's where we're at currently. Julia Hartley Brewer, that piece of shit. Let's just play this thing, because what the media don't do themselves is hold each other accountable. On my other account, the last video I've posted literally has the email addresses of the people you should be contacting and holding the journalists accountable for the harassment that ensued upon Jason Arday. If you guys are unaware, please get to know. He was harassed for 3 years by journalists. 3 years. This didn't just happen overnight. As soon as he got that appointment in Cambridge University, they started coming for him. 3 years. And then it just started to escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate. And then, of course, after he resigned, it escalated. And now that he's gone, the shit is still there. English people are racist. We can't deny that. You can't deny that. I'm going to play this little thing from Marina Perkis. If you haven't heard it, she was on Jeremy Vine show and she said this. Hopefully this is from the beginning. Hold on, let me just refresh this and we can hear this together.
188 articles on this man who is not a public figure over 9 days. That they just ceased to see him as a human. It was a blood sport for them. The Telegraph, the Times, the Spectator, disgusting. They have blood on their hands for this man. He is a human. They just thought clickbait was more important. The Times even had articles on Jason Arday where they was paid for advertising. And I just want to call out Julia Hartley Brewer, you disgusting, vile woman, in my opinion, for what you posted on social yesterday, which says, she wrote, I'm pretty sure Jason Arday's huge book advance would be enough to cover his funeral costs. Give your money to a more deserving cause. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
That's exactly what we're dealing with. So in terms of the video I've posted the email addresses. The journalists in question are Guy Adams is one, Jack Hardy is another, Elizabeth Hay is another, and Christian Calgi is another. They wrote articles on the Daily Mail vilifying him, which amassed in total about 30,000 comments, if I can remember. Actually, no, it's more than that, sorry. It's 40,000 comments in total. 4 journalists, in the way that they wrote, was so divisive that 40,000 comments on the Daily Mail was made by English people. You know for a fact that these articles then get pushed onto Facebook. And so there's going to be even more thousands of comments. Yeah. CHB 18, they're in my head. They're in my head, these people, they're in my head. They wrote the most articles about him on the Daily Mail. There are other journalists that have written more for The Guardian, The Telegraph, etc. But I'm looking at the Daily Mail, I'm looking at these people because you can contact them directly. They also have social media. Some of them are on TikTok, the others are on X as well. Please contact them. You must contact them. You must let them know that what they have done has been absolutely disgraceful. Completely disgraceful. If you haven't signed the petition yet, please do sign the petition. If you are able to donate to Jason's family, the fund, please do so as well. Please use your voice. Your voice is the most powerful voice. Your voice is the most powerful people. Farida, I don't know what you're talking about, so many prejudiced people, but I wouldn't put everyone exactly in the same box. Same box as what? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about, what you mean by that. That says English people. It doesn't say all English people are racist. It doesn't say every English person is racist. Reading comprehension, please. Stick to the topic. We're talking about Jason Arday, a person who was literally killed by English people. And you want to say, well, they're not all bad. Stop that shit. Literally stop it. English people did this to him. English people did this. My platform is specifically about English people for a reason. Comment section, yeah, and moderators, please can you retype these names for me, please? Guy Adams is one. Can you write that down? G-U-Y-A-D-A-M-S. Guy Adams. The next one is, thank you, No Enemies. Good to see you, by the way, No Enemies. You were making me laugh a lot over the weekend. You had so much fire. It was very good to see. Also, Jack Hardy as well. So these two have written the most on Daily Mail. Jack Hardy, J-A-C-K space H-A-R-D-Y. Jack Hardy is another. Thank you guys, thank you. The next one is Christian Calgi. The surname is spelt C-A-L-G-I-E. Christian Calgi. C-A-L-G-I-E. Christian Calgi. Christian Calgi. That's his name. Could you write that down in the comment section? Well, there's an E at the end of it. Christian Calgi. Thank you so much, guys. And then the last one is Elizabeth Hay. Hay is spelled H H-A-I-G-H. Elizabeth, H-A-I-G-H. H-A-I-G-H. Yes, thank you so much in the comment section. Thank you. Farida, you've clarified. You've said English people, I will assume all English people, not some. Yes, that's better. That's better. Assume the majority. Assume all. And they will prove themselves differently. They will prove themselves. If the shoe fits, their racism always jumps out. But there's other people, of course, who are decolonizing, who are telling other English people that they're racist, that they need to figure this stuff out. And yes, Julia Hartless-Brewer as well. These same people. I'm going after the people who are kind of on the lower end, because when you get into people like this Nathan Kofnas, he's not going to lose his job in Belgium. He's not going to lose his job. Julia Hartley-Brewer, the fact that she's become so emboldened, which means that she's protected by a certain group of people. You need to go and communicate with the people who are not so protected. That's how this is going to work. And you also can't go after the establishment because they are protected. So people are saying we're going to email feedback at Daily Mail. It's not point. It's just going to go into the wet paper basket. It needs to be specifically to people who then you can understand whether they feel guilty or not. And I think a lot of these people do, of course, feel guilty because they haven't written anything after he's passed. Their guilt is going to be eating them up inside. And we need to make sure that that guilt continues on. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming by. Thank you very much. Rest in power to Professor Jason Arday. English people, you are hypocrites. You really rallied around John Davidson, a man with Tourette's who slurred racial words towards black people several times, and you told us that we had to have empathy for him, but you don't have empathy for a beautiful, intelligent, powerful, kind black man who wanted there to be peace and love in the world, who had autism, was non-verbal until 11. You said that he got what he deserved. The universe is seeing you, and you know the karma is already here for you. It has already been dished out. I am from afar. I am watching that shit. I am watching the way that it has been served upon you. This is the end days for you, English people. You got to this guy. You already been suffering. I see you. We all see you. There's nowhere to hide now. Hell is a fiery place. Who's making racist comments in the comment section? Can you flag who that is, please, so they can be blocked? Who is that, Lawrence Sam? Please, can you let us know who that actually is, so they can be blocked permanently just before I end the live. But I want you guys to take a look at that face. This is the kind of face of a person who doesn't hurt people, and yet English people are so evil that they could really snuff out the light from this beautiful, intelligent, talented man. This is what they did. They will continue to lie when it's even been proven that he didn't plagiarize. It's been proven that he did run the marathon back in 2010. Jealous and hateful that they can't believe that somebody could be so amazing, because you are so far from being anywhere near what this man is or what black people are generally. White people, you will never compete, and this is your problem. You tried to compete with us. You didn't need to compete, but you compete, and that's why you always lose. You hear our voices now and it pisses you off. You dislike yourself so much, and I know you want us to stop talking about Jason Arday, but we will not stop talking. We will not stop talking about any black person, black man or woman that's been killed by what narcissism. We won't stop talking. You've tried to snuff us out many times, and you see how we're here. We're always regenerating. We're always reincarnating. White people, your civilization and your population is declining. Ours is increasing. You had to tell yourself, great replacement theory, to give yourself some comfort. You're not being replaced. You're being exited out of a system that you are not compatible with. Jason Arde rose to such a level that is so beautiful. You don't need to see my face. You need to see Jason Arde's face. I've zoomed in on him, so you see the light in his eyes. You see exactly who this person was, how kind he was. This is what England does to people. Stop hiding behind a flag and saying that you're a tolerant country. You're not. You're not tolerant people. You harassed this man to death. You will be responsible for it. You will take responsibility for it. You did this in everything that you said, everything that you've done, every comment that you made. This is you. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining the live. If you have not joined me, you don't know who I am. My name is Fox. I am decolonizing and holding English people accountable. Please click my name at the top there. You can follow me, and it means you also see my red circle when I do lives, which is quite often. So you will be able to join me in any kind of conversation that I'm having on this platform. Also, there is the orange heart next to my name, please. Please do click that, and it says send 1 coin to join my community. And I would really appreciate that as well. Please do follow and send a coin for my TikTok, which also means that my live gets regularly pushed out to the algorithm to bring more people to the conversation. Thank you so much for doing that, LLB. Thank you. And thank you for the compliments in the comment section. Angry Buddha, good to see you. Kiss Star Kiss, thank you. Thank you, C Archer. Thank you, Omo. Thank you, Mish. Thank you. Thank you, Uzal. Thank you so much. Welcome. Your first time here. Appreciate you. Thank you. You'll enjoy these conversations. This is what we do regularly. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the money gun. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Brown Eyed Cypriot Gal, for coming and joining as well. Appreciate you guys a lot. A lot. Thank you very, very, very much. Very much. I'm ending the live now. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And please hug your friends, hug your family, and yeah, stay safe out here. Take care, guys. See you next time. Oh, there's a gift coming through. Let me collect that. Thank you, Paulie, for the flowers. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.